Chapter 81. He Lianchen poked Mu Lianfeng. His tone was filled with schadenfreude. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Ping, indifferently. Some of them could not eat anymore. It was not because of Zhao Ping's ugly appearance, but because he did not like Zhao Ping's attitude towards Zhao Yun. This woman was the one who bullied Zhao Yun. Now, she even showed such an infatuated look towards him, which made him feel a trace of disgust. Lord Heir, Zhao Ping, saw that Mu Lianfeng finally looked at her and called out shyly. Then, she coquettishly tucked her loose hair behind her ears. Haha, He Lianchen couldn't help but laugh out loud at an inappropriate time. Thinking that Mu Lianfeng was liked by a woman like Zhao Ping, he felt secretly happy. Mu Lianfeng glared at He Lianchen. Zhao Ping saw that Mu Lianfeng was no longer looking at her and was a little anxious. She leaned towards Mu Lianfeng and pinched her throat to make a delicate voice. Lord Heir, why are you here? Is something the matter? Lord Heir. Seeing that Zhao Ping leaned over, He Lianchen hurriedly took a few steps back. At this moment, he looked at Mu Lianfeng sympathetically. Mu Lianfeng's brows were knitted together. It was obvious that he was very disgusted by Zhao Ping's behavior. Miss, have some self-respect. Mu Lianfeng spat out these 4 words coldly. Zhao Ping had never studied before and did not know what Mu Lianfeng meant by self-respect. Zhao Yun could not stand it anymore. Zhao Ping was her elder sister. Acting like this in front of Mu Lianfeng was embarrassing her. Are you done? Are you leaving or not? If you continue to stay in my house, I won't be polite to you. Zhao Yun began to drive him away. It wasn't easy for Zhao Ping to spend more time with Mu Lianfeng. How could she be willing to leave so soon? She looked at Zhao Yun unhappily and said, Zhao Yun, what do you mean? Isn't it just staying at your house for a while? Was there a need for this? Humph, aren't you just afraid that I'll snatch the crown prince away? You want to keep it to yourself, don't you? Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Ping and felt that her words were very funny. Where did Zhao Ping get her confidence from? Did she think that she could steal other men just because she looked like this? Most men wouldn't even look at her, let alone Mu Lianfeng. He wasn't blind yet. He Lianchen, who was listening by the side, laughed even louder. The ugly woman's words were too funny. Were all the people in the countryside like this? Why didn't she have any self-awareness? Mu Lianfeng was done for now. Zhao Ping did not finish speaking and continued, Zhao Yun, with someone like you, don't even think about being with someone like the crown prince. You have to look at your status. A woman who got pregnant before marriage with a child. Do you think the crown prince will take a fancy to you? Zhao Yun laughed coldly. She felt that Zhao Ping was really a little stupid. It was really hard to communicate with an idiot. Chapter 82. Zhao Yun's words were not so heartless. She did not like to say such hurtful words. However, this Zhao Ping did not care about her face at all, so there was no need for her to be polite with her. After Zhao Yun finished speaking, Zhao Ping was completely enraged. Because Zhao Yun's words poked at her sore spot. It was precisely because she was ugly that she did not like others saying that she was ugly. Zhao Yun you be *tch, I'm going to tear your face apart. She wanted to see if she would still dare to say that she was ugly after her face was ruined. Before Zhao Ping's claws landed on Zhao Yun's face, Mu Lianfeng's tall and straight body blocked in front of Zhao Yun. If you continue to cause trouble, don't blame me for throwing you out. Mu Lianfeng's voice was cold without any warmth. Zhao Ping's originally soaring arrogance immediately fell silent when she faced Mu Lianfeng's dark face. Heir apparent. Zhao Ping bit her lower lip. In her heart, her resentment towards Zhao Yun increased. If it were not for this *tch, would she be like this? Now, she had embarrassed herself in front of Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's impression of her must be very bad. This is Miss Yun's house. Miss, you're too unreasonable. Even if you're her elder sister, you can't be like this. Miss Yun's life is not easy. Instead, you came over to take advantage of it. This is not what a family member should do. I hope you can go back quickly. Mu Lianfeng said in disgust. He did not want to meddle in other people's business, but looking at Zhao Yun's situation, he could not help but feel sorry for Zhao Yun. Zhao Ping stomped her feet angrily. She was very unwilling to accept this. However, she did not dare to disobey Mu Lianfeng's words. She was afraid that she would leave an even worse impression on Mu Lianfeng. When that time came, it would be even more impossible for her and Mu Lianfeng to be together. Fine, I'll leave. Zhao Ping turned around angrily. She would wait for Mu Lianfeng to leave before she came over to settle the score with Zhao Yun slowly. Waiting for Zhao Ping to leave, Zhao Yun's mouth had a bitter smile. Let the two young masters see a joke. Miss Yun will laugh at you, but, is that woman really your elder sister? Biological sister? Helianchen asked in disbelief. Zhao Yun nodded and replied, yes, my elder sister. Biological sister. Helianchen smiled awkwardly. Miss Yun I really couldn't tell, the two of you really don't look alike. Not only do you look, but your personalities are also very different. Zhao Yun gave people a gentle but independent and strong feeling. However, Zhao Ping was simply a country shrew. Sometimes, it was okay for a woman to be a little ugly on the outside. At least, she needed some inner beauty, right? It was very obvious that Zhao Ping was the kind of woman who did not have both. Zhao Yun did not want to continue this topic. Thinking about these people made her feel uncomfortable for no reason. Thus, she called out to Helianchen and Mu Lianfeng and said, let's continue eating. Okay. After lunch, Helianchen and Mu Lianfeng prepared to return to the city together. Before leaving, Helianchen brought several caddies of mushrooms. When he went back, he also wanted his chef to make this kind of delicious taste for him. Take care, young masters. Zhao Yun went out and watched the two of them leave. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun with some reluctance before getting into the carriage. Chapter 83. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Helianchen indifferently, as if he could not be bothered with him. Helianchen smiled and said, Feng, I hope not. Although this Yun is good, the difference between your statuses is too big. Miss Yun even has a son. It's impossible for her to enter your house. You talk too much. Mu Lianfeng said angrily, as if he was angry that Helianchen picked the matter so clearly. How could he not be aware of this? Helianchen was still smiling. He cupped his face like a child and said to Mu Lianfeng, Feng, you still don't know, right? You didn't go back yesterday. Your cousin, cough cough, she came to my house and said that I hid you. Helianchen did not know whether to laugh or cry when he thought of yesterday. Mu Lianfeng's cousin looked like she wanted to destroy the entire Helian residence. Unfortunately, after searching the Helian residence for half a day, she could not find Mu Lianfeng. Only then did she leave unwillingly. Mu Lianfeng stopped. A hint of relief flashed across his black eyes. I'll go to the inn tonight. He thought of his cousin. It was not easy for her to come here. If she did not see him, she would definitely not go back so easily. She was probably still in the Mu residence. If he went back now, he would simply be walking into a trap. He would wait a few days for the limelight to die down. After Mu Lianfeng and Helianchen left, Zhao Yun cleaned up the bowls and chopsticks on the table. The few dishes she made in the afternoon were all eaten cleanly, not leaving anything behind. What Zhao Yun did not understand was that the two people's statuses were not ordinary. Why would they eat so ravenously when they came to her house? It was as if they had not eaten good food for a long time. Perhaps it was because they had never eaten such home-cooked food before. They felt that it was fresh for a moment, right? In the afternoon, Zhao Yun had nothing to do. She took care of Daodu while busying herself with other things. Zhao Yun brought back so many mushrooms. Even if she couldn't eat them all, she couldn't let them go to waste. So, she decided to dry these mushrooms and grind them into powder. The taste of these mushrooms was fresh and delicious. If the mushrooms were ground into powder and placed in soup or dishes, it could enhance the freshness of the dishes. Zhao Yun'er took the time to sprinkle some of the vegetable seeds she bought today and watered them. She reckoned that it wouldn't be long before she could eat fresh vegetables. Although the vegetable garden wasn't big, if she planted some, it would be enough for her and Dao to eat. Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er had just finished tending to the vegetable garden when she heard Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao talking about business. The two of them walked towards her house. "Father, mother, why are you here?" When Liang Jinxiao saw Zhao Yun'er, he held Zhao Yun'er's hand and said with concern, "Yun'er, Tianfu came home yesterday and told me everything. Ping'er is your elder sister. I've already helped you scold her for what she did. I hope you don't blame her. How is Dao De now?" Facing Liang Jinxiao, Zhao Yun'er scolded Zhao Ping'er. This would only make things difficult for Liang Jinxiao. "Mother, Dao De is fine now. He went to the medical center in the city yesterday to have his illness checked. After taking 2 more sets of medicine, he should be completely cured." Chapter 84. Zhao Yun responded vaguely. She knew that Zhao Tianhua and Liang Jinxiao did not come over just to talk about this matter. Sure enough, Liang Jinxiao asked a little resentfully, "Yun, mother heard that a benefactor came to your house today. Mother wants to ask about your relationship with him." Zhao Yun knew that the benefactor that Liang Jinxiao was talking about should be Mu Yanfeng. "Mother, I have nothing to do with him. It's just that the young master did me a favor." "Really?" But mother heard that. Zhao Yun frowned slightly and looked at Liang Jinxiao in confusion. "Mother, what did you hear?" Liang Jinxiao told Zhao Yun about what had happened today. Hua Chunhua had asked her husband and wife to inquire about the situation at Zhao Yun's place. Zhao Yun only felt speechless for a while. These people thought too much. However, it seemed like they couldn't wait for her to have something to do with Mu Yanfeng. Zhao Yun smiled faintly and said, "Mother, can you believe what others say? Think about it. What is his status and what is mine? Not to mention a rich person, even an ordinary person would not fancy a woman with a child, right?" Liang Jinxiao felt that it made some sense. She sighed and said, "All right, Yun, mother understands. After hearing what you said, mother will be able to answer to your grandmother later." Zhao Yun responded. There was nothing else to talk about with Liang Jinxiao, so the couple went back. When they returned to old Zhao's house, Liang Jinxiao told Zhao Yun's words to Hua Chunhua. Hua Chunhua also understood. Thinking about it, who was this Zhao Yun? How could a rich person fancy her? However, because they had hoped that Zhao Yun could help them get rich, now that their hopes were dashed, Hua Chunhua was unusually unhappy in her heart. She scolded Liang Jinxiao in her ear, "Since that girl doesn't have the fortune, don't bring a man home. The gossip outside is unpleasant. She doesn't know how to avoid arousing suspicion. Now that everyone in the village knows, how can our old Zhao's family live in the future? She already did something like getting pregnant out of wedlock. If the reputation of being a vixen spreads now." "That's right, Grandma. You're right. Zhao Yun has to know her identity. Anyway, she definitely won't be liked by Shitzi. When the time comes, gossip in the village will spread, and people will think that the girls in our old Zhao's family are all indecent like Zhao Yun. Zhao Ping also followed behind and echoed. Because of today's matter, Zhao Ping was unhappy. She was the first to join in where there was an opportunity to make sarcastic remarks about Zhao Yun. After Zhao Ping finished speaking, Hua Chunhua caught a trace of information. "Little girl Ping, you're talking about Lord Murong? What Shitzi?" "Grandma, go to Zhao Yun's house to see the noble person. He is Shitzi." "How do you know?" Zhao Yun said. I heard her call him Shitzi. Oh. Hua Chunhua was a little stunned. She thought that it was just an ordinary rich person. She didn't expect that it was Shitzi. If this relationship was established, it would be terrible. Now she understood even more why Zhao Yun had nothing to do with Shitzi. How could he like Zhao Yun, who was of such a high status? Chapter 85. Tisk, Tisk, Hua Chunhua sighed and thought of something. She poked Zhao Xinhui, who was eating with her head lowered, and said to Zhao Xinhui, Hui, you're pretty. If the heir apparent goes to Yun's place again, you can go over and get close to him. Who knows, he might take a fancy to you. Zhao Xinhui was Hua Chunhua's youngest daughter. She had this daughter at an old age, so she doted on her a lot. She was even more doted on than old Zhao's sons. Old Zhao's children were all good-looking. Zhao Xinhui was delicate and pretty. Her facial features were even more exquisite than Zhao Yun's. She was the same age as Zhao Yun. With Zhao Xinhui's qualifications, she could have found a good family. However, after Zhao Xinhui reached marriageable age, she was picky and insisted on finding someone who she thought was worthy of her. Other people were not willing to marry into ordinary families. Hua Chunhua doted on this daughter of hers and gave in to Zhao Xinhui. It wasn't easy for Zhao Xinhui to find a suitable man when she was 16 years old. Zhao Xinhui was filled with joy as she prepared to marry him. Who knew that just as the marriage was set, the man would die? Zhao Xinhui's marriage was delayed again. Until now, she still had not found a suitable husband. In ancient times, Zhao Xinhui was already considered a young lady at her age. Hua Chunhua had been worried about Zhao Xinhui's marriage all these years. Zhao Xinhui put down the bowl and chopsticks in her hands and said to Hua Chunhua, Mother, look at what I'm wearing. I don't have nice clothes or nice jewelry. Will the heir apparent like me? Hua Chunhua fell silent. After thinking about it, she felt that Zhao Xinhui's words made some sense. It was not enough for a woman to have a beautiful face. She had to dress up well. It was the same principle that people relied on clothes. Hui, you're right. When we go to the city later, we'll pick a nice piece of cloth to make clothes with. I'll buy some jewelry for you. Old Zhao's family had accumulated some wealth over the years. Hua Chunhua was usually a little stingy with other people, but she was very generous with her precious daughter. When Hua Chunhua said this, Zhao Xinhui immediately became happy. She smiled and said, Mother, don't worry. If I dress up well, the heir apparent will definitely like me. Zhao Xinhui was very confident about her appearance. Hua Chunhua's differential treatment made the other branches of old Zhao's family very unhappy. Zhao Ping could only blame herself for saying this in front of Hua Chunhua. What if Mu Lianfeng was taken away by Zhao Xinhui? Grandmother, since you're making clothes for my aunt, can you make me one too? Let me dress up. Look at my tattered clothes. Hua Chunhua glanced at Zhao Ping, indifferently. You want all of them? Where do we get so much money? Your aunt's dress up is an investment. If she marries into the heir apparent's mansion, it will bring wealth and benefits to our old Zhao's family. What do you want it for? Being reprimanded by Hua Chunhua, Zhao Ping was a little unhappy. However, Zhao Xinhui added another stab to her wounded heart. She looks like this. It's useless to dress up well. People should know their limits. You. Zhao Ping ground her teeth. Wasn't this a little too much? Chapter 86. Liang Jinxiao tugged at Zhao Ping and Zhao Ping finally looked away. Wasn't she just relying on her good looks? Anyway, Zhao Xinhui and Mu Lianfeng would definitely not like her. There were so many beauties in the city. Zhao Xinhui was nothing. Zhao Yun marinated the unfinished pork that Mu Lianfeng sent over. She was afraid that the pork would spoil if it was left out for too long. The salted pork that was made tasted very good. When the time came, she could just cut off a little bit and eat sparingly. She was not afraid that it would spoil, and she could also improve Dauda's diet. After taking 2 doses of medicine, Dauda's illness was basically cured. Zhao Yun's vegetable garden slowly grew. After planting the vegetables, in addition to watering them every day, she also had to fertilize them. Zhao Yun went to Auntie Lu's place to ask for some chicken dung to fertilize the vegetables. The fertilizers in the countryside were all made from human and animal feces. There were no fertilizers. However, because of this, the vegetables that were grown tasted better. These purely natural vegetables were completely different from the vegetables that were grown in greenhouses in the 21st century. Zhao Yun was looking forward to seeing what her vegetables would look like after they were grown. After finishing the chicken dung and coming back, plus working, Zhao Yun's whole body was covered in sweat. When she was busy working on her clothes, she accidentally got chicken dung on them. After she was done, Zhao Yun looked at herself and realized that she had to take a bath. Otherwise, she probably would not be able to go out in this state. When people saw her, they would cover their noses. She boiled a big pot of water. Before she took a bath, Zhao Yun asked Zhao Tianfu to take Daodu out to play so that she could have a room to take a bath. After all, her house was too shabby. There was only one room. When she took a bath, she could not take Daodu with her. Once she had earned enough money, she would definitely build a big house. After filling the bathtub with water, Zhao Yun closed the door. She took off her dirty clothes and sat in the bathtub. The warm water on her body was unusually comfortable. Speaking of which, this was the first time she took a bath in this era. If she was in the 21st century, she would definitely go crazy. However, when she came here, she was delayed by various things. Comfortable, Zhao Yun let out a long sigh of relief. She closed her eyes slightly and enjoyed it. Not long after she closed her eyes, she heard some sounds outside. Zhao Yun was a police officer, she'd been trained to be vigilant. She immediately realized that there was someone outside. Damn it! Was someone trying to peek at her bathing? Zhao Yun suddenly became angry and had an impulse to kill. If she caught him, she would definitely chop him into pieces. Zhao Yun calmed herself down and quickly grabbed the clean clothes next to her and put them on. Then, she opened the door and rushed out. Zhao Yun used less than 20 seconds. The person outside obviously did not react that quickly. When he reacted and ran, he did not run more than a few meters. Zhao Yun picked up the broom beside her and threw it over. It hit the person's head. Ah, a miserable scream rang out. Zhao Yun then rushed up and kicked the man's leg heavily. You're running. Why don't you run? An unhappy voice rang out. Chapter 87. This man was a villager in Shuilan village. He was in his early 30s, and his name was Lu San. He was quite famous in Shuilan village. However, his fame was not because of Lu San's ability, but because Lu San was a hooligan. He did a lot of bad things on a daily basis. He was lazy and did not do his job properly. Occasionally, Lu San would also tease little girls. Zhao Yun did not expect that this guy would be so bold. He actually came to peep at her taking a bath. Zhao Yun hated this kind of hooligan very much in her previous life. In this life, he bullied her. How could Zhao Yun let him go? You stinky woman, how dare you kick me? I'll teach you a lesson. Lu San was angry and ashamed. When he was about to resist, Zhao Yun grabbed his hand. Zhao Yun held Lu San's hand as if she was catching a criminal. Lu San shouted like a pig, "It hurts. You bitch, let me go." Lu San only felt that his face had been swept to the ground. How could he not break free from the hands of a woman? Don't talk about teaching Zhao Yun a lesson, he simply had no room to resist. Zhao Yun said coldly, "Let you go? Am I so easy to talk to? What do you want to do?" Lu San asked angrily. Of course, I want to settle the score. You peeped at me taking a bath. How can I just let you go? Now, I'll send you to Li Zheng and ask him if there's any need for a man like you to stay in the village. There were many rules in ancient times. One of them was that you could not flirt with a woman from a good family. The girls that Lu San bullied before, for the sake of their reputation, had to swallow their anger. After all, this kind of thing was disgraceful to them. But because of this, Lu San was even more unscrupulous in the village. Lu San didn't expect Zhao Yun to do this. He immediately panicked. He was brave, but he was still afraid of making a big deal out of it. If he was driven out of the village, where could he go? Thus, he lowered his voice and begged, "Little girl, we can talk about this properly and discuss it." The corner of Zhao Yun's mouth curled up into a sneer. Discuss? What's there to discuss? Can I apologize? There was no need to bring this matter to Li Zheng. Besides, even if this matter reaches Li Zheng's ears, it won't do you any good. At that time, I will tell Li Zheng that you seduced me. Lu San sounded a little smug. He thought that he could intimidate Zhao Yun'er. In the past, there were women who wanted to report him, but they were all intimidated by his shocking words. Zhao Yun'er's eyes turned cold. This Lu San was really powerful. He dared to threaten her. Zhao Yun'er suddenly exerted a lot of strength in her hand and broke Lu San's hand. Ah, Lu San cried out bitterly. One of his hands had been dislocated by Zhao Yun'er. At this moment, the severe pain made Lu San's forehead ooze beads of sweat. B*TCH, B*TCH, you B*TCH, how dare you break my hand? Lu San began to curse. Before Zhao Yun'er finished cleaning up, she kicked Lu San's butt fiercely. Lu San was kicked to the ground. Lu San's head hit the ground heavily. One of his front teeth was knocked out, and blood immediately flowed out. Chapter 88. Lu San touched his front tooth. Looking at the broken tooth and the blood on his hand, he was so angry that he almost spat out blood. What the F***ck? This bitch hit me so hard. Zhao Yun'er sneered and walked to Lu San. She sneered at Lu San, who was lying on the ground with his head lowered. Didn't you want to frame me for seducing you? This is a lesson for you. I hate being threatened the most. If you're not afraid of death, you can have a try. Looking at the fierceness in Zhao Yun'er's eyes, Lu San's heart trembled a little. Zhao Yun'er, you hit me. I'm going to report you to the village chief. Lu San touched his mouth and said to Zhao Yun'er with a lisp. How could he be willing to be taught a lesson for nothing? You're going to report me? Then go ahead. I'd like to see what you're going to report me to the village chief. You were hit by me? Lu San, you're the one who will be humiliated if others know about it. You're a grown man, but you can't even beat a woman. You're so miserable. Don't you feel ashamed to stay in this village? You'll be laughed at wherever you go. Besides. Zhao Yun'er lifted the corners of her mouth. Her smile was beautiful and coquettish, but it made Lu San feel cold in his heart. You can have a try. As long as you dare, you can report me. I promise you'll regret it. Saying that, Zhao Yun'er clenched her fists, which made a cracking sound. Lu San knew that Zhao Yun'er wasn't just scaring him. Seeing Lu San behave himself, Zhao Yun'er smiled. Lu San, this is a lesson for you. I hope you can behave yourself. I won't report you to the village chief, but if I catch you again, you won't be so lucky. Now get out of here. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er didn't stop him, Lu San ran away as fast as a rabbit. Seeing Lu San run away, Zhao Yun'er put away the coldness in her eyes. Of course, she was unwilling to let Lu San go like this. She was being polite to him by teaching him a lesson. However, after hearing Lu San's words, she started to have some misgivings. She didn't know whether the village chief would help Lu San if she really reported him. Lu San. She didn't care about what others said, but she didn't like to be pointed at and gossiped about. Zhao Yun'er's mood was in a mess because of Lu San. At the same time, she was more determined to make money. In this shabby house, it wasn't safe to take a bath. She couldn't be afraid of being seen every time she took a bath. Zhao Yun'er put her clothes in a basin and prepared to wash them by the river. In the evening, there were many people by the river. There was only one river in the Shuilan village. Normally, people would get water from this river. When Zhao Yun'er went to the river, many women were picking and washing vegetables by the river, preparing to cook dinner. There were also people like Zhao Yun'er washing clothes by the river. Chapter 89. The river was paved with large bluestones, which could be used to wash vegetables or clothes. However, there were only 8 or 9 bluestones. Some people were washing them, while others were waiting by the river. However, the women who came over were not in a hurry. They waited leisurely by the river, chatting from time to time, looking relaxed. This was also a rare leisure time for these women. Reflecting the sunset glow, a string of bell-like laughter rang out from the riverside. When Zhao Yun'er went over, the women by the river raised their heads to look at Zhao Yun'er. When they saw Zhao Yun'er, they began to whisper to each other. They did not like to see Zhao Yun'er. In the past few years, because Zhao Yun'er got pregnant before marriage, it was inevitable that she was neglected in the village. The innocent women felt that if they got close to Zhao Yun'er, it would also attract some gossip. After all, birds of a feather flocked together. If they were with a person who did not accept chastity, it was inevitable that they would be led to debauchery. These people ignored Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun did not want to say anything. After all, she could not beg them to pay attention to her, right? Yun'er. Zhao Yun heard a call. Zhao Yun looked in the direction of the voice. It was Mulan. She was waving at Zhao Yun'er with a smile on her face. Zhao Yun'er also smiled at Mulan and walked towards Mulan. A woman next to Mulan reminded Mulan in a low voice, "Mulan girl, why are you talking to her? You'd better not interact with people like her." Mulan knew what the woman was referring to, but she still smiled and said, "It's okay, auntie. I think Yun is also very good." The woman sighed. She seemed to think that Mulan did not know how to appreciate kindness. She said to Mulan, "Then do as you like. Don't blame me for not reminding you if there are any rumors about you in the village." Mulan just smiled and did not answer. No matter what others said, she only believed in her own feelings. At least during the process of getting along with Zhao Yun'er, she felt that Zhao Yun'er was good. Zhao Yun came to Mulan and smiled at Mulan. "Sister-in-law Mulan, are you also washing things?" Mulan nodded with a smile and said, "Yes, come on, Yun'er. I'll move a little for you. Come and wash. Otherwise, you'll have to wait. It'll be a long time." Zhao Yun nodded. "Thank you, sister-in-law Mulan." Mulan also smiled and said, "You're welcome. It's just a small matter." Zhao Yun'er glanced at Mulan's basin and saw that there were only a few rags in Mulan's basin, so she asked Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, what are you washing? It didn't look like clothes. Was it a rag?" Mulan said, "This is a child's diaper." "Diaper?" "Yes, my sister-in-law gave birth to a little boy 2 months ago. Children use more diapers. They change a lot of diapers every day." Mulan explained. Unlike modern times, there were diapers in ancient times, but there were no diapers in ancient times. Therefore, these diapers could only be used. It was more troublesome to change and wash them. Zhao Yun looked at Mulan with some distress. This thing that contained feces and urine was relatively dirty and smelly. Why did only Mulan come to wash it? She couldn't help but ask, "Sister-in-law Mulan, you're so kind. Don't tell me you've been washing your little nephew's diapers all the time." Chapter 90. Didn't you say that it's been 2 months? You said that you can't wash it before. Why can't you wash it now? You have to wash the baby now. What about her husband? Can't he help her wash it? It's okay for him to wash his child's diapers, right? Yuner, how can a man wash things? It's all done by women. Zhao Yuner was speechless for a while. Why should other people wash the dirty things made by their own children? Couldn't they do it themselves? Other people's help was out of goodwill, but washing it himself was his duty. Wasn't it his duty to do what he was supposed to do? Even if they were sisters-in-law, they shouldn't bully her like this. Mulan smiled bitterly. My mother-in-law is too old to do it, so I'll do it. Zhao Yuner could see that Mulan was actually unwilling to do it. However, in the family Zhu, Mulan was the least liked among all the daughters-in-law, so she was usually left to do all the irrelevant chores. Well. Zhao Yuner sighed. She didn't know what to say. There were some things that could only be fought for by oneself, and others couldn't help. Mulan's situation was also related to her personality. If she was a little stronger, she wouldn't be the most disliked and bullied in her husband's family. Zhao Yuner began to rinse the clothes in the basin in the water. The water was cool and refreshing. Seeing that Zhao Yuner was washing the clothes with water, Mulan asked in a hurry, Yuner, why don't you use soap? How can you wash the clothes clean like this? Soap. Yes, you should use soap to wash the clothes. That way, the clothes will be cleaner. In Zhao Yuner's memory, she seemed to remember that the ancient people did indeed use locusts to wash clothes. The ancient world was not like the 21st century world. There was no such thing as washing clothes. However, to remove the stains on the clothes, it was sometimes impossible to wash them clean with just water. Therefore, they would pick some locust and use it to wash the clothes. Firstly, it was cleaner, and secondly, it could leave behind a faint fragrance. After Zhao Yuner came to ancient times in this life, she didn't know where to go to pick locust, so she didn't bring any locust with her when she washed her clothes this time. Oh, I didn't pick it. Zhao Yuner smiled at Mulan. Mulan took out some locust from the basin and handed it to Zhao Yuner. Come on, Yuner, I still have some left. Here you go. Zhao Yuner also smiled at Mulan. Thank you, Mulan. You're welcome. At the riverbank, the sound of water splashing could be heard. At this time, a 16 or 17-year-old girl also walked towards the riverbank with a wooden basin in her hand. Unlike Zhao Yuner's situation, when this girl came over, the women on the riverbank were very polite to her, and they greeted the girl one by one. Hong is here. Hong is washing the clothes. Hong, you're so diligent. Xiao Hong smiled sweetly at the women who greeted her. Hello, aunties. I'm here to wash the clothes. My mother isn't feeling well, so I'm here to wash them. After Xiao Hong finished speaking, Zhao Yuner's ears rang with a burst of praise. Chapter 91. There were many people who praised Xiao Hong, but there were also some who disagreed. Perhaps it was because of jealousy. You're making it sound so good. Why don't you let your son marry Xiao Hong? Why are you saying so much here? You only know how to flatter. You can't say that. It's true that Hong is good, but it's another thing to let our sons marry her. Zhao Yuner listened to these women's chatter and looked at Xiao Hong curiously. Xiao Hong was wearing a pink dress. She had a slender figure and a silver hairpin was inserted into her hair bun. Her attire was considered top-notch in the village. Ordinary people in the countryside couldn't afford to wear colorful clothes at all. Everyone wore coarse linen clothes. Xiao Hong's appearance belonged to the type of pretty girl from a humble family. She was very delicate and pretty. When she was 16 or 17 years old, she was even more tender and delicate. Based on the memories of her previous life and the discussions of those women, Zhao Yuner had a rough understanding of Xiao Hong. The Xiao family was considered a wealthy family in the village. Unfortunately, the Xiao family only had one daughter, Xiao Hong. In ancient times, if there were no male children in the family, they would choose to let their daughters find a husband. However, in ancient times, if there were male children in the family, they wouldn't allow their children to marry into the family. Only the poorest of the family and those who couldn't find a wife would marry into the family. Therefore, even if Xiao Hong was a good person and had a good family background, she didn't get married until she was 16 or 17 years old. During this period, there were some people who wanted to marry into the family, but Xiao Hong was also a little picky. She wasn't willing to marry anyone. Mulan just finished washing the clothes, so she stood up and gave her seat to Xiao Hong, who came to wash the clothes. "Sister Xiao Hong, come over here," Mulan called out to Xiao Hong. Xiao Hong came over with a wooden basin and smiled at Mulan. "Thank you, sister-in-law Mulan." Xiao Hong smiled sweetly. The two dimples on her cheeks looked very pretty. When she saw Zhao Yuner, she smiled at Zhao Yuner. "Sister Yuner." Zhao Yuner finally understood why Leah Mean's women in the village liked Xiao Hong more. First of all, Xiao Hong's appearance was more likable. The most important thing was that Xiao Hong's mouth was very sweet. When she saw people, she would shout and smile. Who wouldn't like her? Xiao Hong greeted her with a smile. Zhao Yun naturally wouldn't disrespect her and smiled back at Xiao Hong. "Sister Yuner, let me help you." The two of them should have more energy. When Zhao Yuner picked up her clothes and was about to dehydrate, Xiao Hong said enthusiastically. Looking at Xiao Hong's appearance, Zhao Yun couldn't refuse, so she smiled at Xiao Hong. "Then I'll have to trouble you." Xiao Hong shook her head. "It's no trouble." The two of them each tugged at one end of the shirt. Just as they were about to wring it dry, Xiao Hong saw a figure walking over from not far away. She screamed. Then, there was the sound of a splash as Xiao Hong fell into the water. The women by the river heard the sound and hurriedly gathered around. Hong fell into the water. "What should we do?" "Hong help! Help!" Xiao Hong struggled in the water as she screamed. Chapter 92. Zhao Yun stood on the shore in a daze. She didn't understand why Xiao Hong fell into the river. Xiao Hong didn't touch her at all. She was standing there, so she shouldn't have fallen into the river. Just when everyone was at a loss, someone rushed over and jumped into the river, swimming towards Xiao Hong. It was none other than Lu Lei. When Lu Lei swam to Xiao Hong's side, he grabbed Xiao Hong with one hand and pulled her out of the water. It was still a little cold in this season. Xiao Hong's lips were a little purple from the cold, and her body was shivering violently. Because her body was soaked in water, she was wet from head to toe. Her clothes were also tightly clinging to her body, outlining her exquisite curves. Lu Lei saw it from the side and his face immediately flushed. He took off his clothes and covered Xiao Hong's body. There were no other men beside the river except for Lu Lei. Otherwise, almost all of them would have left today. After choking on the water, Xiao Hong coughed violently, and her small face became pale. Seeing Xiao Hong like this, the women on the shore felt sorry for her, but they also heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Lu Lei came over. Otherwise, Xiao Hong might have drowned to death. If Xiao Hong drowned to death, the Xiao family would be in a mess. "Hong, you were fine. Why did you fall into the water?" "Exactly. Was it an accident, or did someone push you in?" These women surrounded Xiao Hong and chattered with each other. Xiao Hong bit her lower lip and said with a little grievance, What's wrong with you?" "Hong, if you have something to say, just say it. We are all here." Hearing these women say this, Xiao Hong looked at Zhao Yun, with an aggrieved expression. Her eyes were glistening with tears. Zhao Yun's heart trembled, and a bad feeling rose in her heart. As expected, Xiao Hong said to Zhao Yuner, "Sister Yuner, I was kind enough to help you dry your clothes. How could you push me into the river? If you don't like me, you can tell me. You don't have to do this to me." As soon as Xiao Hong's words fell, these women instantly exploded and began to criticize Zhao Yuner. "Zhao Yuner, are you still human? Everyone ignored you and only Hong was polite to you, yet you're still acting like this. What a vicious woman." How could there be such a vicious and merciless woman? Oh my God, Zhao Yuner, you've done those shameful things, and now you're ruthlessly pushing people into the water. This is murder. You should be arrested and sent to the officials. Obviously, because of Zhao Yuner's bad reputation and Xiao Hong's bad reputation, these women immediately believed Xiao Hong's words and thought that it was Zhao Yuner who pushed people into the water. Of course, one of the reasons why these people believed Xiao Hong without a doubt was that she couldn't have jumped into the water by herself. If everyone tried to save her, someone would die. Xiao Hong wouldn't joke about her own life and frame Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner stood quietly and looked at Xiao Hong, completely ignoring the women's chatter in her ears. Chapter 93. Xiao Hong avoided Zhao Yuner's gaze and looked elsewhere. It was unknown if it was because of her guilty conscience. You vicious woman. Are you mute? Why aren't you saying anything? You have to give Xiao Hong an explanation today. As she spoke, a woman was already pushing Zhao Yuner. When one of them made a move, the rest of the women followed suit. Zhao Yuner dodged, and a warning voice rang out. Don't touch me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. You little b***tch. You're being unreasonable now. You've done something bad, but you think it'll be fine if you don't say anything. Everyone, call Li Zheng over and ask him how we should deal with this little b***tch. Zhao Yuner sneered and said, what bad thing did I do? I pushed her into the water. May I ask, did any of you see me push her? She said I pushed her, so I pushed her. What if I said I didn't push her? Zhao Yuner, why are you still acting so shamelessly? Will Hong properly accuse you of pushing her into the water? That's right. We believe what Xiao Hong said, not what you said. That's right. Xiao Hong won't accuse you properly. What good will it do her? What if Lu Lei didn't save her this time? Wouldn't he have lost his life? How would I know what she's thinking? I said I didn't push her, so I didn't push her. If you want to frame someone, you have to show evidence. Where's the evidence? If no one saw it, don't spout your self-righteous nonsense. Zhao Yuner's aura surged, and she instantly intimidated these nagging women. Lu Lei, who had been standing silently, also spoke at this time. I believe what Yun said. Before there's evidence, you can't say that Yuner pushed her. After all, without any evidence, you can't frame a good person. Zhao Yuner glanced at Lu Lei. When so many people were questioning her, he was the only one who stood by her side without hesitation. Xiao Hong looked at Lu Lei pitifully. Brother Lu, do you mean that you believe Sister Yuner and not me? Did I push Sister Yuner into the water? Lu Lei gave Xiao Hong a complicated look. You should know better than anyone whether Yuner pushed you or not. Big Brother Lu. Sob sob sob, even if you like Big Sister Yuner, you can't suspect me like this, right? Xiao Hong's tears fell like pearls. She looked even more pitiful. The women couldn't take it anymore and said to Lu Lei, you can't speak like this, right? Everyone knows that you like Xiao Yuner, but you don't have to protect her like this. You really don't have a conscience when speaking. Look at how you've bullied Xiao Hong. I'm not defending anyone. I'm just speaking the truth. What would Yuner gain from pushing Xiao Hong? Everyone is here. If she wants to harm someone, is there a need to be so obvious? Lu Lei's voice was also incomparably solemn. Zhao Yuner sighed in her heart. It was a good thing that Lu Lei had his own judgment and didn't follow what others said. Just as these people were about to say something, Mulan, who had been standing by the side in a low voice, said, Yuner didn't push her. Everyone looked at Mulan again, not knowing what Mulan meant by suddenly saying this. Mulan explained, I've been watching just now. Mulan didn't push her. I swear, I saw it clearly. She's not lying. Chapter 94. Xiao Hong looked at Mulan with a pitiful look, as if she had suffered a great grievance. Mulan said with a serious face, "Sister Xiaohong, I don't mean to side with anyone. I'm just speaking the truth. Maybe you fell down by yourself and thought that it was Yun who pushed you. Is there some misunderstanding? Also, Sister Xiaohong, if our country tries to frame others, it will backfire. You have to think carefully about what happened today." Zhao Yun admired Mulan a little more in her heart. She didn't expect Mulan to say something like that. It really surprised her. Mulan's words made these women think more carefully. After all, no one wanted to get into trouble for someone who didn't have much to do with them. Everyone knows that Mulan doesn't lie. Yeah, Mulan doesn't lie when other people do. There's no one more honest than her in the village. We didn't see it ourselves. Who knows what it is like? Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Hong, did you remember wrongly? These women talked one after another. Because of Mulan's words, the wind started to change. Xiao Hong's eyes flashed with a trace of unwillingness. She bit her lower lip and said, "Then maybe I remembered wrongly. I felt that someone pushed me, so I thought it was Sister Yun. Then it's a misunderstanding. All right. Since it's a misunderstanding, let's disperse." Looking at these people, they seemed to have forgotten what they had said before. After hurting someone, they seemed to be at ease now. What a joke. Zhao Yun's lips curled into a mocking smile. Xiao Hong looked at Lu Lei, then looked at Zhao Yun. She said to Zhao Yun pitifully, "Sister Yun, you won't blame me for misunderstanding you, right? I choked on water, so my head was dizzy. Maybe I didn't remember clearly." Xiao Hong's appearance and words made it seem like if Zhao Yun blamed her, then Zhao Yun was in the wrong. Zhao Yun smiled. "Sister Xiao Hong, since you didn't do it on purpose, I naturally won't blame you." Xiao Hong was slightly stunned, as if she didn't expect Zhao Yun to answer like this. She looked at Zhao Yun with a complicated expression. Her original plan seemed to have fallen through again. "Sister Yun you're the best." Zhao Yun smiled faintly, too lazy to say anything to Xiao Hong. She naturally wouldn't let her off so easily. But she wouldn't say this. However, she would not say anything in front of these people. Later on, she would let Xiao Hong know what it was like to be framed by others. Zhao Yun picked up her wooden basin and said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, are you done bathing? Let's go if you're done." Mulan nodded. Seeing Zhao Yun and Mulan leave, Lu Lei was about to chase after Zhao Yun but Xiao Hong grabbed his hand. "Brother Lu, where are you going?" "Sister Xiao Hong, men and women shouldn't touch each other. Please respect yourself." Xiao Hong lowered her head, feeling wronged. "Brother Lu. It's inconvenient for me to be drenched. Can you send me back? Lu Lei, Hong, has suffered a lot today. You have to have tender feelings for the fairer sex. At least send her back." Chapter 95. Lu Lei has seen Hong's body. This. Lu Lei, don't blame us aunties for talking too much. Why don't you marry Hong? It'll be good for both you and Hong. What do you think? These women seem to be trying their best to matchmake Lu Lei and Xiao Hong. In their eyes, Lu Lei and Xiao Hong were a match made in heaven. There was only one person in Lu Lei's family. It was fine for him to marry into the Xiao family. Xiao Hong was such a good girl. She was not unworthy of him. However, Lu Lei frowned and said sternly to these people, "Aunties, don't talk nonsense. I didn't see anything at all. This will tarnish Xiao Hong's reputation." Seeing Lu Lei like this, it was obvious that he looked down on Xiao Hong. These women sighed. "All right, just take it that we said too much. Everyone, let's disperse. Disperse, disperse. Hong, it's good that you're fine. Quickly go back and change out of these clothes so that you don't catch a cold." "Okay, Auntie." Xiao Hong's lips curled into a smile, but it was incomparably bitter. Big brother Lu. If you don't want to send me back, I won't force you. It's just that I might give you these clothes later, Xiao Hong said. Lu Lei glanced at Xiao Hong and felt that she seemed to be a little pitiful. Hence, he said to Xiao Hong, then I'll send you back. Thank you, big brother Lu, it's fine. Lu Lei didn't show it on his face, but there was some resentment in his heart. If Mulan hadn't stood up for today's matter, Zhao Yun would have been accused of another crime. On the way back together with Zhao Yun, and Mulan, Zhao Yun said gratefully to Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, thank you so much for today's matter." Mulan smiled and said, "It's fine, Yun, I just said what I saw. I can't just watch them slander you, right? But I still have to thank you. Yun, you're too polite." Then, sister-in-law Mulan, I won't stand on ceremony with you in the future. You don't have to stand on ceremony with me either. If there's anything I can help you with, you must tell me. Mulan smiled and nodded. The shallow dimples on her cheeks were very pretty. When they were about to reach the family Zhu's house, the old lady saw Mulan and yelled at the top of her lungs, "Third daughter-in-law, why did you take so long to wash diapers? I thought you had died by the river. Hurry up and come back. The whole family is waiting for you to have dinner." Family Zhu's old lady's tone was a little sharp and unkind. She looked like a bad mother-in-law. Mulan hurriedly replied, "Mother, I'll be right there." Mulan turned her head and said to Zhao Yunner, "I'll go back first." Zhao Yunner nodded. "Okay, sister-in-law Mulan. Take your time. It's fine." Zhao Yunner sighed after saying goodbye to Mulan. In ancient times, people with good tempers led miserable lives. Mulan was such a nice girl, but she had suffered a lot when she came to family Zhu. She would not be bullied if she became stronger. Zhao Yunner went back. After dinner, she and Daodu went to bed early. The next day, Zhao Yunner went to the mountains again. She went to the mountains to try her luck. It would be good if she could find something that could be sold for money. Chapter 96. Zhao Tianfu was still a child, so when he knew that Zhao Yun had gone to the mountain, he wanted to go and take a look. He had already run all over the village and was tired of playing. He always wanted to go somewhere else. Because she had 2 children with her, Zhao Yun didn't dare to take them into the depths of the mountain. She only wandered around the periphery of the forest. She had been up the mountain a few times before, but she didn't wander too far. The entire mountain was too big. It was still a little difficult to run all over it. Zhao Yun took the 2 children to the west side of the mountain. Along the way, she reminded the 2 children to be careful. However, although the mountain road was a little difficult to walk on, there weren't too many weeds and thorns. Zhao Yun led the way in front, and the 2 children followed behind. Unknowingly, they had walked a lot. Looking at the small flowers all over the mountain, they were colorful and very beautiful. The 2 children were overjoyed. Along the way, they pointed at the small flowers and said to Zhao Yun, "Mother, Hua Hua, Daoda likes Hua Hua." Daoda likes it? Mother will make a garland for you." As Zhao Yun spoke, she began to pick the small flowers on the ground and then weaved a garland. These small flowers, in Zhao Yun's hands, seemed to have magic. After a while, they piled together and formed a circular garland. "Daodu, look, does this look good?" Zhao Yun handed the garland she made to Daodu and asked softly. Daodu nodded heavily, "Mother, it looks good." Daodu, come, mother will put it up for you." As she spoke, Zhao Yun put the garland on Daodu's head. The baby wearing the garland was even cuter. If Daodu could be a little chubbier, he would definitely be a little fairy child. Daodu is so good looking. Zhao Yun stared at him for a while and praised. "Sis, Daodu looks good like this." Zhao Tianfu saw it and praised. Zhao Yun then weaved another garland and gave it to Zhao Tianfu. She looked at the 2 children with satisfaction. Holding one in each hand, she continued to walk forward. After walking for a short distance, they saw a small river. The water was very clear, and there were many flowers and plants growing beside the river bank. This place was like a paradise on earth. Zhao Yun'er stared blankly for a few minutes. She didn't expect there to be such beautiful scenery. If this was discovered in the 21st century, it would probably be developed as a tourist attraction. Zhao Yun'er asked the two children to take a break. After walking for a while, she was a little tired. Mother, Daodu wants to drink water. Daodu tugged on Zhao Yun'er's sleeve as he spoke. Okay, mother will get some water for Daodu. This small river should be spring water that flowed down from the mountain. It was drinkable. Zhao Yun'er found a relatively large leaf and got some water from the river. Come, Daodu, drink. Yes, yes. Zhao Yun'er carefully fed Daodu. The river water was a little cold, and Zhao Yun'er didn't dare to let Daodu drink too much. She was afraid that Daodu would have a stomachache if he drank too much. Mother, sweet. Daodu pointed to the drinking water in the leaf. Zhao Yun'er smiled and said, you can't drink too much even if it's sweet. Daodu will have a stomachache if he drinks too much. Daodu nodded his head heavily. After drinking a few mouthfuls, he obediently stopped drinking. This river water was probably a natural mountain spring, so there would be some sweetness. When Zhao Yun'er was resting, she found that there were many big fish swimming in the water in front of her. Chapter 97. No matter what, fish meat was still considered meat. If it was stewed or braised, the taste would still be excellent. There were so many fish in this small river, and every one of them was so plump. It was probably because no one had ever come here, and the fish in the river had always been raised, so it was like this. The river water was so clear that the bottom could be seen, so one could see where the fish were swimming. Zhao Yun'er estimated the depth of the river. It was only about half up to her leg. Such a shallow river, she could definitely wade into the water to catch fish. Daodu, mother will go down and catch fish for you, okay? Okay. Daodu looked at the fish swimming around in the river. He was very interested and stretched his head out to look. Then Daodu and little uncle will watch from the shore. Don't move. Mother will go and catch fish now. Okay. Zhao Yun said. She took off her shoes, rolled up her trousers, and began to walk into the river. The river water was cool and refreshing. It was still spring, so there was a trace of coldness. Zhao Yun'er tried to be as quiet as possible, so as not to disturb the fish in the river. When she reached the middle of the river water was just above her knees. Her feet stepped on the stones below. Some of them were hard, and a little uncomfortable. Slowly, some fish had already swum to her side. Zhao Yun'er quickly grabbed the fish in the river. These fish were usually in the water where no one disturbed them, so they were not very alert. Zhao Yun'er's speed was also very fast. Soon, the fish were caught by Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun looked at the fish in her hand. It was quite big. The first one she caught was a catfish, which was estimated to be 2 or 3 jin. Seeing that Zhao Yun had successfully caught a big fish, Daodu and Zhao Tianfu immediately became excited. Mother is so awesome. Daodu clapped and laughed. Sister, you're so awesome. You caught a fish. Zhao Tianfu also said excitedly. This fish was not easy to catch. He had caught it before. If his hand was not fast enough and his strength was not enough, he would not be able to catch it at all. Even catching a small fish was not easy, let alone a big fish. Zhao Yun looked at the two children's happy faces, and the corners of her mouth hooked up into a faint smile. She waded through the water and came ashore. She placed the big fish in her hand on the ground and let the two children play with it. Just watch, mother will continue. Zhao Yun'er smiled and went into the river again. After about an hour, Zhao Yun'er's basket began to fill up. Seeing that it was almost done, Zhao Yun'er went ashore. There were so many fish that he probably couldn't finish them all. However, it could be sold in the city. After all, fish was different from vegetables and wild vegetables. It was considered meat, and its price was slightly more expensive than vegetables. The last time she went to the city, Zhao Yuner vaguely remembered that the stalls selling fish sold for 4 or 5 copper coins per catty. There were at least 40 to 50 catties of fish in her basket. Counting them, she could sell them for a few hundred copper coins, right? Mother, there are so many fish. Dao De pointed at Zhao Yuner's basket. Yes, there are so many fish. Mother will go back and make fish soup for Dao De to drink. Zhao Yuner saw that it was getting late. It was time to go back and make lunch. Today's harvest was relatively bountiful. Zhao Yuner held the 2 children's hands in satisfaction and began to walk back. When it came to eating fish, Dao Du and Zhao Tianfu were a little impatient. Chapter 98. But this time, there were a lot of fish, and the 2 children could eat to their heart's content. Croak, croak, Zhao Yun heard a few frog croaks. Dao Du's pink and tender little finger pointed at the grass by the river bank and said to Zhao Yun, Mother, look, it's a toad. Zhao Yun glanced at it, and her eyes lit up. How was this a toad? It was a bullfrog. It was just that Dao Du couldn't tell the difference between a bullfrog and a toad. The people of this era also couldn't tell the difference between a bullfrog and a toad. So at this time, no one would eat bullfrogs. But bullfrogs were extraordinarily delicious. If they took it back and ate it, it would taste even better than fish. The natural environment of ancient times was much better than the modern environment, and it was very suitable for the survival of these animals. Zhao Yun put down the basket on her back and wanted to catch the bullfrog again. Zhao Tianfu hurriedly asked, Sister, where are you going? To catch a bullfrog. Then she pointed at the bullfrog and said, That's not a toad, that's a bullfrog, and it's edible. Zhao Tianfu had a look of disbelief on his face. Sister, I recognize it. That's a toad. There are many of them in our village. In summer, you can see toads everywhere you go, especially next to the latrine. You can see a lot of them when you go to the toilet at night. Sister, this toad can't be caught. It's poisonous. If you catch it, it will spit poisonous gas at you. This thing can't be eaten. You'll be poisoned if you eat it. When Zhao Tianfu said this, he was serious, afraid that Zhao Yun wouldn't believe him. Tianfu, you can't catch toads indeed, but this is indeed a bullfrog. This toad looks, a little like a bullfrog. But the two are not the same thing. But sister, how do you know this is a bullfrog? I've never heard of a bullfrog before. Zhao Yun said with a smile, Because I know a lot. Tianfu, don't you trust your sister that much? Zhao Tianfu looked at Zhao Yun, and it seemed that she really knew. Thinking of Zhao Yun, doing too many amazing things during this period, Zhao Tianfu already had some admiration for Zhao Yun, At this moment, he also began to choose to believe her. Although these bullfrogs were a little difficult to catch, it was still not a problem for Zhao Yun. When she was a child, she caught a bullfrog's content. After a while, Zhao Yun caught up to 5 or 6 bullfrogs were caught. Fearing that these bullfrogs would struggle and jump away, Zhao Yun found a thin straw rope and tied the bullfrog's feet. The 2 children probably thought it's a toad, so they were a little they were at SSS. From afar, if one thought that it was a toad, it would look a little scary. Zhao Tianfu stared at the toad in Zhao Yun's hand and said, Sister, it doesn't seem to be a toad. It doesn't spray poisonous gas. Zhao Yun said with a smile, It's not a toad. There's a difference. Zhao Yun pointed at the toad and began to explain to Zhao Tianfu how to distinguish it. In fact, it's very simple. Tianfu, look, this bullfrog looks much better than a toad. Its surface is smooth, but this toad has a pair of small bumps on its body. Isn't it? After looking at it, Zhao Tianfu nodded heavily. Sister, it seems to be like this. Chapter 99. Zhao Tianfu didn't know much about delicious food, but compared with meat, he immediately understood. If this bullfrog was more delicious than meat, what kind of taste would it be? Therefore, he couldn't wait to urge Zhao Yun, to go back and make some bullfrogs. On the way back to the village, they met several villagers. Seeing Zhao Yun, carrying a basket full of fish, they were jealous. Yun, where did you get so many fish? A woman approached them. She was Zhao Yun's eldest grandmother, Mrs. Meng. Mrs. Meng's husband was Zhao Yun's eldest grandfather, Zhao Baozhu. He was Zhao Baoshang's twin brother. In ancient times, people had many brothers and sisters. Generally speaking, they would gradually separate from each other. Mrs. Meng and Hua Chunhua were sisters-in-law. They weren't easy to deal with. They loved to gossip and were always greedy. Mrs. Meng and Hua Chunhua were definitely neck and neck. Seeing Zhao Yun, carrying so many fish back, Mrs. Meng fixed her eyes on the fish in Zhao Yun's basket. It seemed that she wanted to get one. In the river, Zhao Yun replied calmly. She didn't want to talk to Mrs. Meng. In the river? Is it the river in our village? Yun, a girl, then where did you get the ability to get so much from the river? Do you have some kind of special method? Tell me about it. I'll ask your cousin to get some fish back later. Zhao Yun, didn't want to talk to Mrs. Meng, but Mrs. Meng obviously wanted to pester Zhao Yun, What else can I do? I'll get into the water myself. But Mrs. Meng, I have to remind you that not everyone can catch fish. If you're not careful, you can fall into the water and drown. Madame Meng smiled embarrassedly. Forget it then. It's so dangerous. It's better not to let your cousin go into the water. But Yunner, you brought so many back, will you be able to finish them all? Why don't you give me a few so I can pay attention to the fish soup when I go back? My family hasn't tasted anything fishy for a long time. Mrs. Meng's words were not polite at all, as if this was what Zhao Yun should do. Zhao Yun felt very uncomfortable when she heard Mrs. Meng's words. Why should she give her the fish that she had painstakingly caught? The Meng's habit of taking advantage of others had become a habit. Mrs. Meng thought that Zhao Yun would give it to her if she said so. After all, she was Zhao Yun's elder. There was no harm in giving a little filial piety. Besides, Zhao Yunner has a lot of fish in her hands, so she doesn't care about a few. However, out of Mrs. Meng's expectation, Zhao Yun refused. Mrs. Meng, it's not easy for me to get these fish back. I don't even want to eat them. I'm going to sell them in the city tomorrow. In the city, 500 grams of fish can be sold for 3 to 4 copper coins. You know, it's not easy for me to take care of Daodu. I'm counting on the money from selling fish to buy food. Otherwise, Daodu and I will starve to death. Zhao Yun didn't refuse right away. Instead, she pretended to be pitiful. Chapter 100. After hearing this, Mrs. Meng's face suddenly turned ugly. This wretched girl was really good at scheming. Zhao Yun's words shut Mrs. Meng's mouth. No matter how thick-skinned she was, she couldn't continue to ask Zhao Yun for more. She wanted to eat fish because she wanted to take it from Zhao Yun for free. But she wouldn't exchange it with food. Forget it if you don't want to give it to me. Why do you have to come up with so many excuses? I thought that one of you in the second branch was easy to talk to, but the result is the same. Mrs. Meng rolled her eyes at Zhao Yun and walked away with her short legs. The other villagers around saw that Mrs. Meng didn't get any advantage from Zhao Yun, let alone them. When Zhao Yun saw Mengshi's departing figure, a cold smile hung on the corner of her mouth. Then she held the two children's hands and continued to walk back. After returning, Zhao Yun first took out a wooden basin and put all the eared fish she caught today into the basin. She put water in the basin so that these fish wouldn't die. The price of live fish and dead fish was very different. If the fish died, the taste would be much worse. Zhao Yun stared at the fish she caught today in the basin. In addition to catfish, there were also carps, bass, grass carps, and so on. Although there were many kinds, there were only one or two of each. Zhao Yun looked and picked out a few fish. In addition to braised fish, she also prepared steamed bass and cooked some fresh fish slices. Dinner would definitely be very sumptuous. These fish were just more precious than vegetables in the countryside. However, many villagers didn't like to eat fish very much. In the end, it was because the villagers didn't know how to cook fish. Basically, they didn't put anything in it and just simply boiled it in water. When such fish was cooked, not only would it be tasteless, but it would also have a fishy smell. Zhao Yun took out a piece of wood and began to kill the fish. She slowly removed the fish scales. Then she rinsed it with water again. Zhao Tianfu and Dao De squatted in front of the wooden basin and looked at the fish in the basin with interest. The smell of fish attracted a few cats. People in the countryside liked to raise cats. In ancient times, there were many rats and rats would steal rice. After raising a cat, the number of mice in the house could be reduced by a lot, and the food could be prevented from being spoiled by mice. Seeing these skinny cats coming over, Zhao Yun'er did not chase them away and let them eat. Anyway, she didn't want the fish organs anymore. If she left them in front of the house, they would definitely stink in a few days. The cats piqued Dao De's interest again. Dao ran over, pointed at the cats on the ground, and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Mother, cats." Dao De likes cats. Dao De nodded heavily. Children should be more fond of small animals, right? Dao De then turned to Zhao Yun'er and asked, "Mother, can Dao De touch them?" Dao De's eyes were full of anticipation, but he knew that before he could do anything, he had to get Zhao Yun'er's permission. Zhao Yun'er shook her head and said, "Dao De, you can't." Dao De's eyes showed a trace of disappointment. Looking at Dao De's small appearance, Zhao Yun'er felt a little distressed. She didn't let Dao De touch them because she was afraid that the cats would scratch Dao De. The cats and dogs in the countryside were not raised in captivity. They were more wild and could not be touched casually. Unless they were raised at home, they could be scratched or bitten accidentally. Zhao Yun'er saw that Dao De liked them so much and thought that she could raise a puppy for Dao De. Chapter 101. In ancient times, there was only one type of dog. Most of them were mongrels, which were Chinese rural dogs. Although mongrels were not as cute as some Western dogs in the 21st century, they had a high IQ, were more humane, and were loyal to their owners. If one could raise one, not only could it be Dao De's playmate, it could also be used as a guard. Zhao Yun remembered that Auntie Lu mentioned a few days ago that her old bitch had given birth to a few puppies. The puppies were already a month old, and she was worried about giving them away. After all, food was more precious in ancient times, and a family could only raise one dog at most. If they raised a few more, they would not be able to keep them alive. Zhao Yun smiled at Dao De. "Dao De, mother will go to Grandma Lu and get you a puppy to raise, okay?" Hearing this, Dao De's dejected face immediately regained its spirit. "Mother, is that true?" "If Dao De likes it, mother will get you one." "Dao De likes it," Dao De said crisply. "All right, after we eat lunch, mother will go to wet nurse Lu's place to catch one for you, okay?" "Uh-huh." Seeing the smile on Dao De's little face, Zhao Yun'er's mouth also revealed a faint smile. "Mother is going to cook." "Okay." Zhao Yun'er put the fish aside and began to serve the dishes first. Braised and steamed fish were easier, but making fish slices took some effort. Zhao Yun'er sliced the fish slice by slice. Fortunately, her knife skills were not bad after so many years of practice. She had basically removed all the fish bones, so Dao De did not have to be too careful when eating. As for braised fish and steamed sea bass, Zhao Yun'er still had to remove the fish maw and fish bones before she dared to let Dao De eat. Otherwise, if he got stuck, he didn't know if there was any way to remove the fish bone from his throat in this era. The bullfrogs were also skinned and cleaned by Zhao Yuner and placed in basins. When the fish was ready, he added some flour and kneaded it before preparing to cook. Bullfrog was simply cooked. It didn't need too many ingredients to cook it to produce that delicious taste. Then, he made the braised fish and poured some oil into the oil pan. After heating it up, he began to fry it. When both sides were golden, he added water, ginger, garlic, soy sauce, cooking wine, and salt to simmer it. A strong fragrance wafted out. When the villagers cooked, they were reluctant to use oil. They only added some salt. Braised fish in soy sauce was really rare in the countryside. The braised fish only took about 10 minutes to cook. While the rice was cooking in the other pot, a steaming rack was set up and the base was steamed on it. The last dish Zhao Yun made was the fish slices. After adding some oil and boiling half a pot of water, she put the fish slices into the pot. Then, she added a few pieces of ginger and covered the pot with the lid. The fish slices were very thin and easy to cook. They were cooked after a few minutes. When it was taken out of the pot, the fish soup had already turned milky white. It smelled very fragrant and looked very appetizing. Before it was taken out of the pot, Zhao Yun grabbed a handful of chopped green onions and sprinkled them in. The smell of the green onions mixed together and it smelled better. Looking at the few dishes she made, Zhao Yun felt very accomplished. Not to mention the ancient times, even in the 21st century, it was definitely considered very sumptuous. Chapter 102. Zhao Yun greeted them. The two kids ran into the house happily. They had been waiting for a long time. When they smelled the aroma coming out of the kitchen, they were even hungrier. Zhao Yun put all the dishes on the table. There were 4 dishes in total. Boiled bullfrog, braised fish, steamed sea bass, and fresh fish soup. Not only did these dishes smell good, but they also looked very good. Sister, it smells so good. It looks delicious. Then let's eat quickly. The eyes of the 2 children were also affirming Zhao Yun's cooking skills. She scooped rice for Zhao Tianfu and Daodu, and asked the 2 kids to eat. Zhao Yun reminded them not to eat too fast from time to time. They had to pay attention to the fish bones. Sister, the fish you cooked is so delicious. I've never eaten such delicious fish before. It's not fishy at all, and it smells so good. Sister, it's so good to eat here. It's much better than eating at home. Zhao Tianfu buried his head in the food, his face full of satisfaction. Zhao Tianfu ate half of the fish slices in the pot of fish soup. The fish meat was very fresh and tender, and the fish soup was very delicious. Zhao Yun liked it very much after tasting it, let alone Zhao Tianfu, who had never eaten anything delicious before. The ancient fish was bred by nature, and its taste was much better than that of the fish raised by animal feed. You can eat here all the time if you like. Anyway, you can catch fish yourself. You don't need to buy these with money. But sister, mom and dad don't allow me to eat too much here. It's fine. Mom and dad think that I don't have much food here. As you can see, I actually have a lot of food here. Sure. Zhao Tianfu nodded with a smile, and ate more happily. This time, he ate very freely, because he knew that these fish were all caught, and he didn't need to spend money to buy them. In addition, there were a lot of fish and they tasted good. In the end, Zhao Tianfu's stomach was as full as a rubber ball. Sister, I'm full. I'm so full. Zhao Tianfu put down his bowl and chopsticks and pointed to his stomach as he spoke to Zhao Yun. It's good that you're full. Don't eat so much next time. It's not good for your stomach. It won't be good if you get sick. Okay, second sister, I won't do it again. It's just that the fish you made this time was so delicious that I couldn't help but eat a lot. It's good that you think it's delicious. I'll make more for you in the future. Yeah. Daodu also put down his bowl and chopsticks and finished the bowl of rice. Mother, Daodu is also full. That's great. Looking at this little guy, he had eaten a lot today. His appetite was much bigger than an ordinary child's. Children in ancient times were much easier to raise than children in the 21st century. Children like Daodu didn't even need to be coaxed to eat. They could eat by themselves. In the 21st century, it took a lot of effort to feed children every day. Zhao Yun took out a handkerchief and wiped Daodu's little mouth. There were a lot of oil stains on his mouth, so it was a little dirty now. Chapter 103. Recently, we've been planting rapeseed at home. After we finished planting, Brother Tianan still has to go into the fields with Grandpa and Dad. He's busy every day. After a while, he still has to spread the rice, get the seedlings, and then transplant the seedlings, so he doesn't have time to come over. He just eats at home. Zhao Tianfu explained. Zhao Yun nodded. There was a lot of farm work in the countryside, especially in spring, when there was even more work to be done. In the countryside, a child at Zhao Tianfu's age could run around and play, but Zhao Tianan had to work in the fields like an adult. Brother Tianan doesn't come because he doesn't want to trouble second sister. Mom said that Brother Tianan and I shouldn't always freeload. Zhao Yun touched Zhao Tianfu's head and smiled. It's okay, Tianfu. You go back today and tell Tianan to come to my place to eat. We'll wait for him to eat together. There are so many fish. Anyway, it's enough to eat. We have to let him taste what it tastes like, right? Zhao Tianfu smiled and nodded. Okay, second sister. I'll go back and tell Brother Tianan. Okay. When Zhao Tianfu went back, Zhao Yun scooped up the leftover fish soup and fillets from the pot into a big bowl. Tianfu, take this back and let Mom and Dad have a taste. Be careful. Don't let anyone see it. Zhao Tianfu nodded. Got it, sister. Although Zhao Tianfu was young, he was very smart. When he carried the bowl back, he was very careful. He waited until there was no one around before entering the courtyard. Li Chuiying just came back from the toilet. He pulled up his pants and walked into old Zhao's courtyard. At this time, he saw Zhao Tianfu sneaking into the courtyard with the bowl in his hand. He then ran into the third branch's house. Li Chuiying thought that Zhao Tianfu was like a thief. He must have brought something good back and didn't want anyone to see it. This third branch. He must have eaten it all alone. These days, Zhao Tianfu didn't come back to old Zhao's house to eat. Instead, he went to Zhao Yun's place. Presumably, Zhao Yun, that little B***tch, brought back something delicious. Children were the most gluttonous. They would run to wherever there was good food. Zhao Tianfu must have eaten something good and brought it back from Zhao Yun. When they walked to old Zhao's courtyard, Li Chuiying could smell the faint fragrance left in the air. Swallowing hard, Li Chuiying rushed into old Zhao's house to complain to Hu Chunhua. Mother. Li Chuiying went into the kitchen. Hu Chunhua was busy having lunch with her sisters-in-law. Old Zhao's sisters-in-law took turns to cook. Today, it was Li Chuiying's turn to cook with the fourth branch's Qian Zhuzha. However, she suddenly had a stomachache. When she went to take a dump, Feng Zhangxia took her place. Old Zhao's lunch was all vegetables picked from his garden, such as lettuce, spinach, chives, and chili. They were tired of eating these vegetables. The main thing was that there was no oil. Li Chuiying's mouth overflowed with saliva when she thought of the third branch's food. Hu Chunhua glanced at Li Chuiying and began to scold her. You lazy B***tch. You've been taking a dump for half a day. Are you deliberately lazy and don't want to work? Chapter 104. Hu Chunhua rolled her eyes at Li Chuiying. This damned woman really knew how to talk. She actually said things that others didn't know how to refute. Once you're done, go call your father and the others back for dinner. The food is already cooked, so there's no need for you to interfere. Old Zhao's fields were quite a distance away from the house. Li Chuiying was a little unwilling to call them back for dinner, but he knew that he couldn't refuse Hu Chunhua. If he had known, he wouldn't have gone to shit. Hurry up and go. Hu Chunhua urged exasperatedly. Just then, the voices of Zhao Baoshan and the other men in the house came from inside the house. Li Chuiying was delighted and said to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, look, father and the others are back. There's no need to call them back." Hu Chunhua said, "All right then, we'll get ready to eat later." Li Chuiying grinned and went up to Hu Chunhua. "Mother, I have something important to tell you." "What is it?" "Hurry up and tell me. Why are you dawdling?" Hu Chunhua frowned and was a little displeased. "Mother, the people in the third branch are eating alone in the house. When I came back from shit, I saw Tianfu holding a bowl in his hand. He didn't come back after he went into the house." Hu Chunhua was furious when she heard this. She was the head of the household and hadn't separated from the family yet. When the family ate together, she hated eating alone. This was absolutely forbidden in old Zhao's house. "Really?" Hu Chunhua asked angrily. Li Chuiying patted his chest and promised, "Mother, how can this be fake? I saw it with both of my eyes. It's not like your eyes are playing tricks on you. Why don't you go and take a look? She's probably eating right now." Hu Chunhua immediately rushed out of the kitchen and cursed, "The people of the third household are not honest at all. They even started to eat alone. If I catch them, I'll teach them a good lesson." Seeing Hu Chunhua's aggressive attitude, Li Chuiying was secretly pleased. When she thought about how the fourth branch would be scolded later, she secretly felt happy. Hu Chunhua arrived in front of the third branch's room and kicked the door hard. The door was suddenly kicked open. The people in the room were obviously stunned. They did not expect Hu Chunhua to suddenly barge in. Zhao Ping was holding a bowl and eating happily. She had to admit that Zhao Yun'er's cooking was simply amazing. It was better than any fish she had ever eaten. Zhao Ping ate more than half of the big bowl of fish and fish soup by herself. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua had not even tasted the food when Zhao Ping ate it all by herself. After all, she was her child. It was understandable that she would save some for her child. She did not say anything about Zhao Ping's behavior. She thought that Zhao Ping would be more or less grateful if she ate more of the food that Zhao Yun brought back. In this way, she would not be too prejudiced against Zhao Yun'er in the future. The moment Hu Chunhua entered the third branch's room, she smelled a strong aroma. Zhao Ping was eating with her head lowered. Her face immediately darkened. The third branch was really like what Li Chuiying said. They were eating alone. Chapter 105. As Hu Chunhua spoke, she took off her shoes and hit Liang Jinxiao. Liang Jinxiao didn't dodge Hu Chunhua's beating and scolding. She lowered her head and endured it. Zhao Tianfu immediately came over to protect her. "Grandma, you can't hit my mother. My mother didn't eat alone. My second sister asked me to take it back." Hu Chunhua pushed Zhao Tianfu. Zhao Tianfu sat on the ground, but he didn't cry. Hu Chunhua scolded Zhao Tianfu instead. "Little brat, if this isn't eating alone, then what is it? No matter who gave you the food, you have to take it out and eat it as a family." Liang Jinxiao knew the rules of old Zhao's family. No matter what the reason was, they had to eat it together. She was in the wrong in this matter. So she said to Hu Chunhua, "Mom, I was wrong. This has nothing to do with Tianfu. Don't be so calculative with a child." Hu Chunhua glared at Liang Jinxiao. "Now you know you're wrong. I don't know how much you secretly eat. Mom, how much can it be? Yun has it hard. Today, Tianfu said that she caught a few fish and cooked it herself. That's why she sent some over." Hu Chunhua thought about it and agreed. How much good food could Zhao Yun have? It was already not easy for her to not starve to death since she was able to feed herself. I'll remember what happened today. If I find out later, you'll suffer. Hu Chunhua put away her shoes. Liang Jinxiao's body was already covered with bruises. I know, Mom. It won't happen again. Humph, you're still thinking about the next time. Hu Chunhua rolled her eyes. Hu Chunhua asked Zhao Ping, to bring it over when she saw that there was still a little bit of fish soup left in the bowl. I'll take the rest. Hu Chunhua said. Zhao Ping couldn't bear to hand it over, but she knew that if she didn't, Hu Chunhua would probably start scolding her again. She hadn't eaten enough yet. Seeing that there was not much left, Hu Chunhua still wanted to hold on to it. Hurry up. Hu Chunhua urged impatiently. Milk, here. Zhao Ping handed the bowl over. Before Hu Chunhua left, she said to the people of the third branch, you've eaten all the food by yourselves. You'll be hungry for lunch and dinner today. Don't come out to eat. After saying that, Hu Chunhua left with the bowl in her hand. Li Chuiying followed her out with a smile. Seeing that Liang Jinxiao had suffered because of Hu Chunhua, he gloated even more. Thinking of what Hu Chunhua said, they could eat more rice if the third branch didn't eat anymore. Li Chuiying stared at the fish in Hu Chunhua's hand and couldn't help swallowing saliva. He said to Hu Chunhua with a smile, Mom, are we going to eat the fish together later? Hu Chunhua stopped walking and said, don't eat it. Don't you see that there's only so much left in the bowl? Each of us won't be able to eat a single bite. Li Chuiying curled his lips. He was unwilling to give up. But Mom, but what? There's still so much left. Go back and give it to your younger sister. Your younger sister has been starving these days. Hu Chunhua said and walked towards Zhao Xinhui's room. She shouted from a distance, Mom made something good for you. Come and have a taste. Chapter 106. Li Chuiying secretly cursed the damned old woman behind her back as she thought of her own daughter. She was already so old, yet she was still unmarried. She wanted to shove all the good stuff into her hands. Didn't she work so hard just to have a bite? No, if she really found out that the third branch was eating alone, she would threaten the third branch herself. She couldn't let this old woman find out. That way, she could at least have a bite and satisfy her craving. Li Chuiying flung her sleeves. Forget it. She couldn't win against this old woman. She was shrewd. Hu Chunhua entered Zhao Xinhui's room. Zhao Xinhui came back with some wildflowers and was fiddling with them in front of the mirror on the table. They didn't have a bronze mirror at home. If she wanted to see her face clearly, she had to fill a basin with water and stand in front of the mirror. But the reflection in the water couldn't be clearer than a bronze mirror. When Shinpan married into the family, she brought some dowry with her. She took a fancy to Shinpan's bronze mirror, so Shinpan generously gave it to her. So, in the entire old Zhao family, she was only slightly more polite to Shinpan. She didn't treat anyone else nicely. Zhao Xinhui put a flower behind her ear, making her entire face appear more beautiful. Zhao Xinhui looked at herself in the mirror with satisfaction. When she saw Hu Chunhua enter, she asked Hu Chunhua, Mother, look. Do I look good? Hu Chunhua came in to take a look. She had never seen Zhao Xinhui like this before. When she dressed up properly, she didn't lose out to the young ladies in the city. It was a small face that had completely inherited her and her old man's looks. You look good, you look good. My Hui is the prettiest. Hu Chunhua praised repeatedly. When Zhao Xinhui heard Hu Chunhua's words, not only was she not happy, but she also had a bitter expression on her face. Hu Chunhua hurriedly asked, What's wrong, Hui? Why do you look unhappy? Mother, what's the use of dressing up nicely? Look at me, it doesn't match at all. Didn't you say you would buy clothes and jewelry for me? Why haven't you bought them for me yet? As soon as Hua Chunhua saw that Zhao Xinhui was unhappy, she became a little anxious and immediately coaxed, it's not that mother didn't keep her promise. It's just that I've been too busy these days. There's so much work in the fields that I can't leave. So, mother, when will you take me to buy it? Zhao Xinhui asked and pursed his lips. If you don't want to buy it for me, then forget it. At most, I don't want it. After that, Zhao Xinhui's face turned cold, as if she didn't want to talk to Hua Chunhua. Hua Chunhua hurriedly said, buy. Mother will take you to the city tomorrow to buy, okay? Really? Of course it's true. Mother, you're still the best to me. Zhao Xinhui's face seemed to have changed and was instantly full of smiles. Of course, you're my daughter. If I don't treat you well, who will I treat well? Yes. Mother, don't worry. If I marry Master Shitzi in the future, I'll definitely take you to live a good life. I'll give you good food and good clothes every day. When the time comes, I'll buy you whatever you want. Hua Chunhua was coaxed by Zhao Xinhui and began to imagine her good life in the future. She was in an exceptionally good mood. Chapter 107. You'll look better if you eat more, Hua Chunhua added. Zhao Xinhui glanced at the bowl on the table and asked, Mother, is this fish? Yes, it should be. Zhao Xinhui leaned over and sniffed it. It smelled good, much better than the food she cooked at home. Mother, where did you get this? Hua Chunhua snorted at the mention of this. Yun gave it to the third branch. They ate it all by themselves and I caught them. There's still a lot left, so I brought it over for you. Where did Zhao Yun get it? She's really capable. She can even get delicious food. This fish is actually not a good thing. There are some in the river, but I don't know how this girl made it so fragrant. It smells delicious. Try it. Zhao Xinhui tasted it and said, It's delicious, Mother. Her fish is really delicious. You should cook it for me next time. Hua Chunhua laughed embarrassedly. How would I know how she made it? Then go and ask her. You don't have to ask. Let third sister-in-law do it. Hua Chunhua thought about it and agreed. She smiled and said, Okay. Let third sister-in-law ask. When she catches the fish, I'll cook it for you. Okay. On the other side, in the third branch's room, Zhao Ping complained in front of Liang Jinxiao, Mother, why is grandmother like this? Isn't it just a little food? If everyone eats it together, we won't be able to eat it. She only knows how to bully us. Liang Jinxiao glared at Zhao Ping. Ping, don't talk nonsense. After all, it's our fault. Mother, what did we do wrong? There are many people who eat alone at home. Every time eldest cousin-in-law brings back delicious food from her parents' home, she eats it in her own room. She doesn't even take it out for us to eat. Zhao Ping felt a little indignant. Not to mention Shen Pan, it wasn't like the other families hadn't eaten all of the money by themselves. Some of them even hid some of their own money. Only her parents were so honest. In fact, he was just a fool. Ping, your cousin-in-law is different after all. We can't compare with her. How is it different? Isn't he also a member of old Zhao's family? Can't our old Zhao family's rules be applied to her? Well. Liang Jinxiao sighed. He didn't know how to explain it to his daughter. There was no such thing as absolute fairness in this world. Shen Pan's family was different. Old Zhao's family didn't dare offend them. Mother, what should we do now? We can't eat for lunch and dinner. Won't we starve to death? After Zhao Ping finished complaining, Liang Jinxiao was just about to say that they should bear with it for today, but Zhao Ping opened her mouth again. Mother, let's go to Zhao Yun's place to eat. She has delicious food there too. Ping, it's not good. Your younger sister doesn't have it easy, mother, it's not a big deal. Isn't it just 2 meals? You usually send her so much food. What's wrong with us going to eat a little? We can't starve for a whole day, right? Liang Jinxiao thought for a while and agreed. He would eat a little when he went there so as not to burden Zhao Yun. He also knew that if he didn't go, he didn't know how his eldest daughter would make a fuss later. So he said, okay, then let's go at night. Your younger sister should have eaten by now. You ate some for lunch, so you shouldn't be hungry anymore, right? Chapter 108. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun picked a big fish and sent it to Mulan. After all, Mulan had defended her before, so she wanted to thank her for it. When it was time for family Zhu, the men of family Zhu all went to work in the fields. It was the busiest time for farming. The women of family Zhu were at home. As soon as they entered the courtyard of family Zhu, they heard the cries of the family Zhu's child. It was probably the child of Mulan's sister-in-law. The child was crying miserably. In the courtyard of family Zhu, Mulan was doing some small chores. These days, she had brought back some bamboo from the mountains and was now weaving some bamboo baskets and wicker baskets. There were already some woven baskets on the ground at the side. They looked very delicate and were very good. Zhao Yun didn't know that Mulan was so skillful in weaving these things. However, these baskets and wicker baskets could be sold for money in the town. Sister Mulan. Zhao Yun called out. Mulan turned to look at Zhao Yun. She stopped what she was doing and said with a smile, Yun, why are you here? Zhao Yun said, I caught some fish and sent one to you. Zhao Yun walked to Mulan's side and waved the fish in her hand in front of Mulan. I picked the biggest fish for you. Sister Yun, you're too polite. You should keep it for yourself. Why did you send it to me? It's okay. I have a lot of fish at home. It's good to let you try it. It tastes good. Hearing Zhao Yun's words, Mulan didn't refuse. In fact, fish was not particularly expensive in the countryside. It was much worse than meat. Sister Yun, thank you. You're welcome. Zhao Yun smiled and pointed to the basket on the ground. Sister Mulan, I didn't know you could make this before. This is what my father taught me. Now that I'm free, I'll make a few of them. If this basket is sold in the town later, if one of them is good, it can be sold for 10 copper coins. At least it can supplement the family's expenses. Zhao Yun nodded and said, that's right. But Sister Mulan, you have to work hard. Fortunately, I'm not tired. I'm not working in the field. San-er's father and the other men working in the field are the ones who are tired. While the two were chatting, Mulan's mother-in-law, Mrs. Zhu, came out of the house. Third daughter-in-law, who are you talking to? When she came out and saw Zhao Yun, her face suddenly turned ugly. Why do you talk to everyone? You even brought a dubious person home and chatted happily. Zhao Yun saw that Mrs. Zhu's eyes were very unkind. Was she talking about the dubious person? Her reputation in the village was indeed bad. She didn't expect that this family Zhu's mother-in-law didn't avoid it at all. She directly said this sentence in front of her. She was really unwilling to put on a show. Mulan glanced at Zhao Yun awkwardly. She knew that her mother-in-law's words must have made Zhao Yun sad. Facing Mrs. Zhu's dark face, Mulan explained, Mother, Sister Yun, came here this time to bring us fish to eat. Mulan said as she took the fish from Zhao Yun's hand and handed it to old Madame Zhu. Chapter 109. She snorted softly and didn't reprimand Mulan and Zhao Yun anymore. Mrs. Zhu was too snobbish. If Zhao Yun hadn't brought a big fish over, she might have been driven out of family Zhu's courtyard. Mulan also breathed a sigh of relief. If Mrs. Zhu had driven Zhao Yun away, she wouldn't know how to face Zhao Yun. Mrs. Zhu pointed at the fish brought over by Zhao Yun and said to Mulan, "Make more fish and send more to your sister-in-law tonight." Mulan replied, "Got it, mother." When Mrs. Zhu was about to enter the room, the baby's cries came from Mulan's sister-in-law's room again. The cries were intermittent. One moment, he cried, and the next, he stopped. Family Zhu's old lady frowned. "I don't know what's wrong with him these days. He's always crying. Did something happen to him?" Mulan put the fish into the wooden basin and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Mother, I'll go and have a look." "I'll go and have a look, too," Family Zhu's old lady said. The baby had been crying a lot these days. She thought it was normal. After all, there were only a few children who didn't cry. However, it seemed that something was wrong with the baby for several days. They went into the room together. Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, Madame Qi, was lying on the bed. The baby was beside her, crying loudly. Family Zhu's old lady's attitude towards Madame Qi was not bad. She asked softly, "Eldest daughter-in-law, why is my eldest grandson crying like this?" "Mother, I don't know. But there's something on Hoover's forehead. I don't know if it's the reason why he's crying." Madame Zhu went in to have a look. She found that there was indeed something on the baby's face and head. It was a layer of dry skin, and some of it was a lump of nodules. Old Madame Zhu didn't know what it was either. She muttered, "How did my eldest grandson grow something? The child is crying non-stop. It must be because of this. Mother, what should we do? Was Hoover's condition serious? Will it be okay?" Madame Qi asked with a frown. "I don't know. I've never seen anyone's child with it. Mother, why don't we call a doctor over?" Family Zhu's old lady's face. "Why should we call a doctor? It's normal for there to be something on a child's face. If we call a doctor's we'll be able to get a lot of money." Madame Qi's of the family's old ladies was even a doctor's SSC. Seeing that old Madame Zhu was reluctant to part with the silver, Madame Qi didn't say anything else. She also felt that there should be nothing wrong. Zhao Yun came closer to take a look and knew what was going on at a glance. Her friend's child also had something like this, so she knew a little about it. This baby, who was less than 2 months old, had eczema on his forehead. "I know what it is," Zhao Yun couldn't help but say when she saw how pitiful the baby was. It wasn't a big deal, but if it wasn't handled well, the baby would suffer. Madame Zhu glanced at Zhao Yun and snorted. "I don't know what it is." "How would you know?" Chapter 110. Mulan said, "Mother, you can't say that. There are so many things in this world. What if Yun knows something?" After Mulan finished speaking, she glanced at her as if she was afraid of Family Zhu. Old Madame Family Zhu glared at Mulan unhappily. Mulan was so scared that she quickly lowered her head. However, she felt that Mulan was right. Although she did not admit it, she knew that Mulan's words made sense. Thus, she said to Zhao Yun, "Since you know, then tell me what it is." "This is eczema. It's most common in children when they are 1 or 2 months old." "How can it be treated?" Old Madame Family Zhu asked. It was useless to just know what it was. She had to know how to treat it. In the 21st century, children who had eczema were basically smeared with some ointment. There was definitely no ointment in this era. The child's eczema was not very serious. It might be better if he paid more attention to other aspects and did not use any ointment. Looking at the environment in Madame Qi's room, she reminded her to open the doors and windows and not close them tightly. The child's clothes should not be too wrapped up. In addition, Madame Qi had to pay attention to the child's diet. The child's eczema was also related to the mother's milk. It's best to eat less spicy and stimulating food. Also, you can't eat things like fish. "Auntie, you can't let sister-in-law taste the fish I sent over. Judging by this, it will probably get better in 2 days," Zhao Yun said. Old Madam Family Zhu was skeptical of Zhao Yun's words. However, seeing that Zhao Yun spoke in an orderly manner, it did not seem like she was lying. Anyway, she did not have to pay for it. There was no harm in following Zhao Yun's instructions and giving it a try. However, Madam Qi was a little unhappy. Mother, if I can't eat this and that, then what should I eat? Old Madam Family Zhu looked at Madam Qi. Just bear with it for a while. Otherwise, what will happen to Hu-er? If you don't want Hu-er to get better, then continue eating. Madam Qi pursed her lips. She wanted to eat, but she also wanted her child to be well. It wasn't easy for her to give birth to a child. After such a long time, she was able to eat a little more good food. If she was controlled like this, she wouldn't be able to eat anything good again. Mother, then I won't eat it, Madam Qi said. After leaving Family Zhu, Zhao Yun'er took 2 fish to Auntie Lu's house. Auntie Lu was sitting at the door facing the light outside, sewing something in her hands. Zhao Yun'er walked closer and saw that Auntie Lu was making cloth shoes. In ancient times, the clothes and shoes on their feet were all made by themselves. The cloth shoes that were made were much sturdier and more comfortable to wear than the shoes bought in the 21st century. It was just that the cloth shoes were a little more troublesome to make. The stitches were very fine, and every stitch and thread would take at least 1 or 2 days to make a pair of shoes. Aunt Lu! Zhao Yun called out. Auntie Lu was so focused on making shoes that she didn't hear Zhao Yun'er's footsteps. Ah, Yun'er, you're here? When Auntie Lu saw Zhao Yun'er, there was a smile on her face. When she smiled, she looked even more amiable. Yes, Auntie Lu. I caught some fish and brought 2 for you, Zhao Yun'er said. Hey, you little girl. You can just keep the fish for yourself. Why did you bring them to me? It's okay. There are still many fish at home. Chapter 111. Auntie Lu had always been so polite, which made Zhao Yun a little embarrassed. She had finally gotten something good and sent it over, but Auntie Lu wanted to return it. Zhao Yun knew Auntie Lu's character. Even if she said she didn't want it, Auntie Lu would definitely give it to her. Fortunately, these cloth shoes were not worth much, or else she would be embarrassed to accept it. Thank you, Auntie. Auntie Lu smiled and waved her hand. You're welcome. I have a lot of free time at home anyway. Daodu is a child, and he grows up quickly. Soon, the shoes won't fit him. Auntie Lu, teach me later. I'll learn too, Zhao Yun said. Her needlework was still passable, and she could only mend clothes. She really didn't know how to make shoes. Okay, but Yun-er, didn't your mother teach you this before? Zhao Yun shook her head. No, I forgot when I taught it when I was young. It's okay. Learn from Auntie in the future. Auntie will teach you. Okay. Auntie Lu put down the needlework in her hand and put Zhao Yun's fish into a wooden basin. She put some water in it and prepared to eat it at night. The men in the family went out to work. Auntie Lu also had 2 sons, and they hadn't separated yet. Now, one daughter-in-law went back to her mother's house, and the other went out to gather pigweed. The people in the countryside would raise some livestock. Other than some chickens and ducks, they would also raise pigs. A pig could be sold during the new year. Not only could they get some money, but they could also leave some for their family. Then, they wouldn't have to sell meat anymore. Zhao Yun saw that Auntie Lu's pigsty was built outside. In ancient times, pigs were not fed with pig feed, but with pigweed or bran. This way of raising pigs could save a lot of food, and the pigs tasted better than the pork of the 21st century. Mother, I'm back. Not far away, a woman in her early 30s walked in. It was Auntie Lu's eldest daughter-in-law, Zhou Shi. Zhou Shi was wearing plain clothes, and her hair was combed neatly. It was probably because he had been working for a long time that his skin was a little dark. He was 30 years old and looked a little old, but one look and one could tell that he was a person who was doing his job. Madame Zhou carried a basket on her back, which was filled with pigweed. She had gone to gather pigweed just now. Seeing Zhao Yun'er coming, Mrs. Zhou also greeted Zhao Yun'er with a smile. "Yun'er, you're here." "Hello, sister-in-law." Madame Zhou smiled and put down the basket in her hand. "Mother, I'm going to feed the pigs. It's spring, so there's a lot of pigweed. Our little pigs can grow fat." "Huh, that's good. Go ahead." "Yes." There were 3 little pigs in the pigsty. The big pig had been killed and sold at the end of last year. These were all captured not long ago. Mrs. Zhou skillfully put the pigweed into the pigsty and muttered a few words. A few piglets ran over and began to fight for the pigweed. Zhao Yun'er looked at the piglets. They were pink and tender and looked quite cute. Hearing Mrs. Zhou's words, Zhao Yun'er began to think about whether she should raise 2 little pigs. Not to mention exchanging them for money. After killing them, Daodu could eat a lot of pork. Pigs ate pigweed and bran, so it didn't cost much to raise a pig. Chapter 112. The price of a piglet is a little more expensive than the price of pork. My piglet weighs 15 kilograms, and it costs 20 copper coins per kilogram. So, a piglet costs 600 copper coins. Aunt Lu explained. Zhao Yun nodded. It sounded a little expensive, but when the piglet grew up, she could earn a lot more. "Why, Yun, do you want to raise a pig too?" Aunt Lu asked with concern. Zhao Yun shook her head and said, "I don't plan to raise one now. I don't have a pigsty at home, and I usually have to take care of Daodu. I can't get away." Aunt Lu nodded and said, "That's right. The most important thing now is to take care of the child. Fortunately, Daodu is sensible and can save you a lot of trouble." Speaking of Daodu, Aunt Lu's eyes were filled with a gentle smile. Auntie Lu liked children. In ancient times, most people preferred boys. However, although Auntie Lu had 2 sons and both sons were married, she didn't have a grandson until now. She had 3 granddaughters. The first branch gave birth to 2 daughters, and the second branch gave birth to 1 daughter. So now, Aunt Lu hoped that the 2 daughters-in-law would continue to give birth to a grandson. The more anxious she was to give birth to children, the more the 2 daughters-in-law's bellies didn't show any signs of pregnancy. Although Aunt Lu was depressed, there was nothing she could do. Although the 2 daughters-in-law hadn't given birth to a son, she was still good to her daughters-in-law. If it were in other families, the mother-in-law would probably pick on the daughters-in-law every day. God Lu didn't say anything, but the 2 daughters-in-law felt guilty and were more filial to Aunt Lu. Usually, if there was any work at home, they would rush to do it. Auntie Lu rarely interfered. "Mother, I'm done feeding them. Now, I'll send some water to father and the others," Mrs. Zhou said. Zhao Yun looked at Mrs. Zhou and felt a little restless. She was really hard-working. Aunt Lu called Mrs. Zhou and said, "You've just finished. Take a rest." Mrs. Zhou wiped the beads of sweat on her forehead and said with a smile, "Mother, I'm fine. I'm not tired." "All right then." Looking at Madame Zhou's departing figure, Auntie Lu sighed and said, "My daughter-in-law is good in every way. She's hard-working, but she's not like Yun. She's only left with a boy." Zhao Yun'er smiled awkwardly and comforted Auntie Lu. "Auntie Lu, don't worry. You'll have a grandson to hold." Boys and girls were all the same. People had to be filial. "Auntie, don't you agree?" Auntie Lu chuckled and said, "You're the only one who knows how to talk." "I don't care. It's just that the other villagers won't gossip if there's a boy. Sigh, but let's take it slow. Our Lu family has never done anything bad in our lifetime. I believe that we won't be left without descendants." Zhao Yun'er responded and then asked, "Auntie Lu, I heard you say that your bitch gave birth to a puppy. Now I want to catch one. Can you give me one?" Auntie Lu quickly said, "Of course." I'm thinking about how to send it in the future. Come, I'll catch one for you. As she spoke, Auntie Lou led Zhao Yuner to the kennel. The kennel was close to the pigsty and not in the house. It was arranged outside. The dog could also guard the pigsty. If someone came to steal the pigs and made a noise, the family would know. Chapter 113. On top of the straw lay a big white dog, and there were 4 or 5 puppies in the kennel. Among these puppies, 4 of them had white fur, just like the female dog. The puppies were all lying on the female dog's body, sucking milk with all their might. The puppies weren't very big, just a little bigger than a mouse. Looking at these cute puppies, Zhao Yun couldn't wait to get one and play with it in her hands. However, these puppies couldn't be casually touched by strangers. The female dog protected the puppies. If Zhao Yun touched the puppies, she would definitely be bitten by the female dog. At this moment, another puppy's whining came from the kennel. Zhao Yun took a closer look and found that there was a small black dog curled up in a small corner. It was whining as if it was crying. This black puppy's fur color was clearly different from the other dogs in the kennel. The black puppy's body was thinner than the other white puppies. Looking at its pitiful appearance, it really made one's heart ache. Auntie Lou said, "Sigh, Little Black is being ostracized again." Zhao Yun looked at Auntie Lou, puzzled. She didn't understand what Auntie Lou meant. Auntie Lou explained, "This Little Black's fur is different from the other puppies. Every time it wants to drink milk, my big white won't let it drink. It has to be the other puppies who finish drinking before it can drink a few mouthfuls. Little Black often whines when it's hungry. It's really pitiful." When Zhao Yun heard this, she felt that Little Black was pitiful, but she also wanted to laugh. Auntie Lou's big white was really interesting. Normally, female dogs would treat their children equally, but because Little Black's fur color didn't follow her, she treated Little Black so differently. After Auntie Lou finished speaking, she called out to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner girl, take a look yourself. There are so many puppies here. Which one do you want?" Zhao Yuner glanced at them. In fact, she didn't care about any of them. Little Hay was the most pitiful. It was still whimpering, so she said to Auntie Lou, "Auntie Lou, why don't you give Little Hay to me?" "Little Black? That's good too. If you bring it back, Xiao Hay won't be bullied anymore," said Aunt Lou. She bent down and picked up Blackie from the kennel. Dabai glanced at Auntie Lou, but he didn't have much of a reaction. Instead, he licked the other puppies that were nursing. Dabai didn't care about Little Hay at all. After Auntie Lou put some distance between them, she handed Little Hay to Zhao Yuner and said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner girl, Little Hay is yours. You can take it back." Zhao Yuner held Little Hay in her hands. Little Hay's body was a little soft. Once it was in Zhao Yuner's hands, Little Hay stopped whimpering. It stared at Zhao Yuner with its black eyes. It looked very obedient. This little black puppy seemed to be intelligent. Zhao Yuner immediately liked it. She rubbed Little Hay's head and said to Little Hay, "Little Hay, don't cry. I'll feed you when we go back. I'll treat you well." Little Hay whimpered twice, as if it was responding to Zhao Yuner. Then, it licked Zhao Yuner's hand with its small, soft tongue. "Auntie Lou, Little Hay is very intelligent," Zhao Yuner said with a smile. "Dabai is smart too. It's normal that Little Hay is smart too." "Oh, Auntie Lou, what should I feed Little Hay when we go back? Can Little Hay eat rice?" Chapter 114. Auntie Lou nodded. "Of course it can. Puppies are different from humans. Humans can't eat rice for a month or two, but puppies can." Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. Otherwise, she wouldn't know where to find milk to feed this puppy. Little Yun, it will take a few more months for Little Black to grow up. Don't worry, there's no rush. Haha. Zhao Yun carried Little Black back from Auntie Lu's place. Little Black glanced at Dabai and whimpered a few times. On the way back, he stopped crying. Along the way, Little Black's black eyes glanced at Zhao Yun from time to time. When they reached home, Zhao Yun called Daodu over. Daodu, Mom caught a puppy for you. Daodu was playing with mud in a corner with Zhao Yun. Upon hearing that Zhao Yun had caught a puppy, he immediately ran over. Mom, where's the puppy? Zhao Yun handed the puppy in her hands to Daodu. Look. Isn't it cute? Daodu stared at Little Black in Zhao Yun's hands and tapped it. Little animals were also very fond of children. Daodu immediately fell in love with Little Black, and a bright smile appeared on his little face. It's cute, Mom, it's really cute. Can I hug it? Daodu's eyes sparkled as he looked at Zhao Yun with anticipation. Zhao Yun smiled. Of course you can. Come, Daodu, be careful not to drop it. Okay. Little Black didn't resist at all when he was in Daodu's hands. He obediently laid on Daodu's little hands and even stuck out his pink tongue to lick Daodu's palm. It tickled when he licked it, and Daodu giggled. Mother, it's licking my hand. Daodu giggled. Does Daodu like it? I like it. Daodu carefully carried Little Black into his arms, afraid that he would hurt Little Black. Daodu, give it a name, Zhao Yun said. The little puppy had to have a name. Daodu glanced at Little Black and said, Mother, his fur is black, so let's call him Little Black. Zhao Yun's mouth twitched. Little Black? Huh, wouldn't that be the same as not having a name? Mother, can't I call him Little Black? Daodu asked carefully. Zhao Yun patted Daodu's head and said, Of course you can. Okay, then we'll have a Little Black in our family from now on. Daodu hugged Little Black happily. Let's go make a kennel for Little Black. Zhao Yun led Daodu to a dilapidated wooden basin. She put some grass in it and placed 2 unwanted rags on top. Mother, Little Black is hungry. Shouldn't we get him something to eat? Daodu asked. Little Black licked Daodu's hand, and it looked like he was hungry. Dabai didn't give him any milk at Auntie Lu's place, so it was normal for him to be hungry. Okay, Mother will get him something to eat. Zhao Yun went into the kitchen. She had saved some fish soup for lunch, and there was still some porridge left over. Zhao Yun mixed the fish soup and porridge together and brought it to Little Black. Little Black smelled the fish soup, probably because it tasted good. Then, he crawled over and started eating from the bowl. Not long after, Little Black finished the bowl of fish soup and porridge. Chapter 115. After Little Hay ate Zhao Yun's meal, it became even more attached to Daodu. For the whole afternoon, Daodu and Zhao Tianfu played with Daodu, while Zhao Yun was busy with other things. The vegetable garden had to be tended, watered, and fertilized every day. As evening approached, Zhao Yun began to prepare dinner again. In the evening, one dish was braised fish, and the other was boiled snakehead. Plus a bowl of wild vegetables. Although there were only 3 dishes, it was a lot, and they were few, so it was enough to eat. Even including Zhao Tianan, there were only 4 people who came to eat at night. None of them had a big appetite. But what Zhao Yun didn't expect was that Zhao Ping and Liang Jinxiao also came at night. Zhao Yun thought that they came over for something, so after asking, they wanted to stay for dinner. The 2 of them happened to come at dinner time, and there was no notice before. She didn't add 2 more servings for dinner. After listening to Liang Jinxiao's explanation, Zhao Yun couldn't not let them stay. After all, it was only the mother of the original owner, who had no choice but to come over for dinner. If she refused, she would be a bit too much. The meal wasn't ready yet, so Zhao Yun continued to be busy in the kitchen. Liang Jinxiao wanted to go into the kitchen to help Zhao Yun but was persuaded to rest outside by Zhao Yun This time, Liang Jinxiao came over, pulled a long face, and still felt embarrassed. Zhao Yun asked her to sit and rest, but it made her a little restless. Zhao Ping smelled the fragrance coming from the kitchen, and couldn't help but swallow her saliva. She was curious about how Zhao Yun's food could be so fragrant. Smelling this smell, she felt that it was unusually captivating. No matter what it was, it must be good food. In comparison, eating at Zhao Yun's place was much better than eating at old Zhao's place. Zhao Ping didn't eat much at noon. Now that she was hooked by the aroma, her stomach began to growl. Zhao Ping grumbled, "Zhao Yun why are you cooking so slowly? Are you doing it on purpose? I'm starving. Hurry up and serve me the dishes." Zhao Ping thought that Zhao Yun couldn't hear her in the kitchen, but in fact, Zhao Yun could hear her clearly. He snorted coldly. If not for Liang Jinxiao's presence, she would have kicked Zhao Ping out. Zhao Yun knew that once she chased Zhao Ping away, Liang Jinxiao would definitely feel embarrassed and would probably leave as well. She didn't eat at noon. If she didn't eat at night, her body wouldn't be able to stand it. Liang Jinxiao glared at Zhao Ping. Can you stop talking? It's not easy for Yun to cook. Mother, aren't I hungry? Aren't you hungry? Liang Jinxiao touched his stomach. He was indeed hungry. Let's wait a little longer. Anyway, it should be ready soon. After the rice in the pot was stewed, Zhao Yun brought out the rice and invited them to eat. Seeing Daodu standing outside, Zhao Yun asked, "Daodu, why don't you come in? It's time to eat." Hearing Zhao Yun's words, Daodu ran to Zhao Yun and hugged Zhao Yun's leg. He glanced at Zhao Ping. Obviously, he saw that Zhao Ping was scared. Last time, Zhao Ping slapped Daodu. Daodu was probably still traumatized. Chapter 116. Zhao Yun's words coaxed Daodu. Before the others sat down, Zhao Ping saw the dishes on the table and began to eat. "Zhao Yun, I didn't expect you to have so much delicious food at home." Zhao Ping muttered as she ate. Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Ping and was very disgusted. The people at the table had not started eating, but she ate first. She said to Zhao Ping in a displeased tone, "Mother hasn't even touched her chopsticks, and you're eating by yourself. Isn't that bad? You're already an adult, don't you know the rules?" Zhao Ping was reprimanded by Zhao Yun and was immediately unhappy. What right did this little B***tch have to scold her? "I'm hungry. It's not like I'm not allowing you to eat. Mother can eat by herself." "Zhao Yun, I'm your elder sister. How can you talk to your elder sister like this? Who's the one who doesn't know the rules?" Zhao Ping muttered, but her hands did not stop moving. A large piece of braised fish was placed in her bowl. The plate of braised fish was not much. Zhao Ping ate more than half of it. It seemed that she did not care about the others and continued to eat by herself. Zhao Yun was suddenly furious and almost hit Zhao Ping. Liang Jinxiao stopped Zhao Yun and gave her a look. "Yun don't bother with Ping." For Liang Jinxiao's sake, Zhao Yun held back. This was the first and last time. If Zhao Ping made any more trouble later, she would definitely not let it go easily. "Ping, Yun is right to scold you. You're a big girl, don't you know how to be more reserved? No matter what, you should wait for others to eat together, right? Mother, aren't you long-winded? Why are you so disappointing when you're eating?" Liang Jinxiao sighed. "Ping, you're already so old. When will you be more sensible? What will you do when you marry into your husband's family in the future?" Zhao Yun sneered in her heart. With Zhao Ping's appearance, it would be strange if she could marry. As long as the man's eyes were not blind, Zhao Ping would not be accepted even if she was given to others. "Mother, how am I not sensible? Why are you nagging? Are you going to eat or not? Zhao Yun was afraid that Zhao Ping would finish all the food alone, so she hurriedly asked the others to hurry up and eat. The table full of food was not enough for Zhao Ping alone. In addition to a bowl of rice, Liang Jinxiao ate some wild vegetables, and only a few pieces of fish. Zhao Yun was about to give the last bit of fish soup to Daodu, but Zhao Ping beat her to it and put it into the bowl. Zhao Ping don't you know how to respect the old and love the young? Don't you know how much you've eaten alone? Zhao Yun was so angry that she put down the bowl and chopsticks and slapped the table. If she endured it any longer, she would definitely suffocate. Zhao Yun, I only ate a little bit of food from your house. Do you have to be like this? Oh, a little bit of food? If you have the ability, don't eat it for me. You really treat it as your own house. Don't be so polite. What do you mean? Zhao Ping was also angry. She put down the bowl and chopsticks unhappily, stood up, put her hands on her waist, and faced Zhao Yun. Chapter 117. Zhao Ping was not as strong as Zhao Yun, so Zhao Yun could only push her away. After throwing her out, she yelled at Liang Jinxiao, "Mom, look. Look at Zhao Yun, Isn't she too much?" Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun, then looked at Zhao Ping, and sighed. Both of them were her daughters, so she could not side with either of them. Zhao Ping had indeed gone a little overboard today. Originally, the family was eating happily together, but she had unknowingly eaten so much. Zhao Yun should have said a few words. "All right, Ping, let's go back when you're done eating. Don't make a fuss and attract other people's ridicule." Liang Jinxiao glared at Zhao Ping, then walked out of the house and said to Zhao Yun, Yun, Mom is done eating. I'll go back first." Zhao Yun nodded and said, "Okay, Mom. Take care. It's a little dark. Be careful on the road." I know." As Liang Jinxiao spoke, she pulled Zhao Ping away. If they stayed any longer, Liang Jinxiao was afraid that the two sisters would fight. If that happened, the family would see each other frequently in the future. It would be very awkward. On the way, Zhao Ping complained to Liang Jinxiao, "Mom, you're biased. Why didn't you scold Zhao Yun for her behavior? Why did you let me go? Ping, she's your sister. It's enough that we came here to eat. You ate so much tonight. How can Yun be happy? Isn't it just eating? Mom, we're a family. She has so many things that belong to you. It's fine if you don't want the money, but you don't want the food either. I think we can eat at her place in the future. Eating with Grandpa and Grandma is not as good as eating at Zhao Yun's place." Liang Jinxiao glanced at Zhao Ping, Yun only caught fish today. She can't catch fish usually. How can there be anything delicious? Let's not burden her. Mom, all right, stop talking. Let's go back quickly. The next morning, Zhao Yun got up and prepared to go to Yang City. When she woke up, she kept the porridge warm in the pot. When Daoda woke up, she could eat it by herself, so she didn't wake him up. Last night, Zhao Tianfu had stayed to sleep with them. Now, the two little guys were lying on the bed. When she left, Zhao Yun gently closed the door. When they arrived at Old Man Hu's house, they were surprised to find that Mulan had also gone into the city. She had brought a lot of baskets. The baskets should be sold in the city. When she saw Zhao Yun, Mulan was also a little happy. Yun, why are you going to the town too? Zhao Yun, smiled. Didn't I tell you yesterday that I caught fish? I'm going to the town to sell fish today. Oh, that's the best. The two of us can accompany each other. Zhao Yun nodded and said, yes. She thought that with Mulan's company, the journey might not be so boring. Just as Papa who was about to leave with the carriage, he heard Hu Chunhua's anxious voice. Wait a moment, wait a moment. Hu Chunhua shouted at Old Man Hu while urging Zhao Xinhui to hurry up. Hurry up. If you slow down, Father Hu's carriage will leave. I told you to hurry up. You've been dawdling all morning. Chapter 118. Zhao Xinhui touched her hairstyle and felt satisfied. As a girl, she couldn't make do when she went out. After all, she could see other men at any time. What if she met a good man, but he didn't take a fancy to her because of her sloppy appearance? Hey, okay, hurry up and get on the carriage. Hu Chunhua didn't know what to say to Zhao Xinhui, so she urged her. Zhao Xinhui nodded. When Old Man Hu's ox carriage stopped, she got on. Old Man Hu's ox carriage carried a lot of people this time, so it was a little crowded. Zhao Xinhui glanced at the people on the carriage with some disdain. She raised her head proudly, as if she felt that she was too different from the people on the carriage when she was dressed so beautifully and cleanly. These people didn't deserve to sit with her. Mother, how can I sit on this carriage? Zhao Xinhui complained and looked at Hu Chunhua. Zhao Xinhui didn't go to the city many times. Most of the time, she stayed in the village. However, every time she saw Shen Pan come back, she came back in a carriage. Compared to a carriage, the difference between an ox carriage and a carriage was too big. Why can't we sit on it? Everyone is sitting on it. If we don't sit on it, how can we go to the town? Hu Chunhua didn't expect that her daughter could cause so much trouble when she went to the town once. Now, she really felt tired. She could only coax Zhao Xinhui. Mother, it's so dirty. Zhao Xinhui frowned in disgust. When the people on the carriage saw Zhao Xinhui, they all showed a disdainful expression. They had never seen a girl in the village so pretentious. But what should we do? We only have an ox carriage to go to the town. Don't tell me we don't go? Hu Chunhua asked. Zhao Xinhui disliked it, but there was nothing she could do. How could she not go to the city? She was still thinking about packing her clothes. Just as Zhao Xinhui was about to take a seat, a few women started chattering and scolding her. Just don't sit if you think it's dirty. Do you really think you're a young lady from a rich family? Do you have a carriage to pick you up? That's right. Why doesn't she take a look at her own status? Everyone is sitting properly, and she's the only one who says it's dirty. Maybe he thinks he's different from us? Sigh, there are some people who don't have the life of a young miss, but think of themselves as one. Old Man Hu, let's hurry up and leave. It's not like he's interested in your ox cart. Each of these women was more venomous than the other. As Zhao Yunhe listened, she felt that she could accept the words of these women. A pretentious person like Zhao Xinhui should be scolded like this so that she could see the situation clearly and recognize herself. Hearing these words, Zhao Xinhui clenched his fists tightly and glared at these women. At home, she was the treasure. No one had ever talked about her like this. Shut up, all of you. Who allowed you to talk about me like this? Zhao Xinhui shouted at these women. However, Zhao Xinhui's words did not make any waves. These women's mocking voices grew louder. Oh, who do you think you are? Why aren't you talking? We're telling the truth, not talking nonsense. If you don't want others to talk about you, then don't be so pretentious. Chapter 119. Even if she offered herself to my family, I wouldn't want her. Didn't we marry a girl like her just to serve her? Who would be so stupid? Marrying a daughter-in-law is to serve us, not to serve her. Sigh, I wonder which family will be so unlucky in the future. When Zhao Yun heard this, she couldn't help but laugh out loud. However, she still tried her best not to laugh. If she really laughed out loud, Zhao Xinhui would probably bear a grudge against her and old Zhao's family would make trouble for her. After all, Zhao Xinhui was a girl. Although she was a little willful, she really could not out-talk these women in the village. Zhao Xinhui was so angry that she started crying when she was outnumbered. She was not as terrible as they said. As soon as Hua Chunhua saw her daughter crying, she immediately became angry. These B******s dared to bully her precious daughter. Hua Chunhua spat at these women who were scolding Zhao Xinhui. Try saying that again. Let's see if I will tear your mouths apart. Hua Chunhua put her hands on her waist and looked like a shrew. The women who were spat on felt disgusted. Hua Chunhua's saliva was on their faces. That was not all. More importantly, Hua Chunhua's saliva was smelly and made them feel nauseous. Old lady Hua, don't you think you've gone too far? What's wrong? You can't argue with us, so why are you attacking us? The women on the ox cart were not soft-hearted. After being spat on, how could they tolerate it? I won't talk about my daughter. What's wrong with that? Hua Chunhua said angrily. She was very tough. We're telling the truth. Why can't we tell the truth? No wonder your daughter is still single. With a mother like you, she's not much better off. My daughter is going to be the wife of an official in the future. Do you think she's going to be married off casually like your daughters? Hua Chunhua said angrily. In fact, she also had such expectations in her heart. Her daughter was so beautiful. What if the heir took a fancy to her? At that time, their entire family would be rich and powerful. Let's see what these women would say. Oh, old Madam Hua, are you really dreaming? Your daughter can become the wife of an official? You don't even want an ordinary family, and you still want to be an official's wife? Some people just like to dream. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm dying of laughter. Another wave of mocking and ridiculing voices sounded. Hua Chunhua had a fiery temper. She slapped the women in front of her. Did he really hit someone? Come, let's fight then. You were the one who made the first move. Everyone has seen it. When we get to Lijiang, don't say that we're unreasonable and that we're bullying you with numbers. As a result, the women and Hua Chunhua began to quarrel. Zhao Yun pulled Mulan to the side so that they wouldn't get hurt. Hua Chunhua was no match for these women. No matter how good she was, she couldn't fight against so many of them at once. As a result, a few scratches appeared on Hua Chunhua's face. Zhao Xinhui watched from the side and could only feel anxious. He couldn't go forward to help Hua Chunhua. She wasn't afraid of anything else. What she was afraid of was that these women would accidentally scratch her face. This face was very important to her. She couldn't let anything happen to it. Chapter 120. Before Zhao Yun could react, Zhao Xinhui angrily commanded Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun, you wretched girl. Can't you see that your grandmother is being beaten up? Why are you standing there instead of helping her? Are you waiting for your grandmother to be beaten up? Zhao Yun frowned. She sneered in her heart. Zhao Xinhui was really interesting. Zhao Yun still did not help. These women were not good people. If she got involved, wouldn't she be beaten up for nothing? She was not that stupid. She asked coldly with a hint of sarcasm, Auntie, you're wrong. Aren't you also standing there? Why are you scolding me now? You're her daughter. If you want to help, you should be the first to rush up. Besides, grandmother is so good to you. It's not right if you don't help now. You're so unfilial. Zhao Yun made Zhao Xinhui speechless. This little B****tch was so eloquent. In the past, no matter what she ordered Zhao Yun to do, Zhao Yun would never say a word. They're beating people to death. They're beating people to death. Hua Chunhua shouted. Zhao Xinhui stomped her feet and glared at Zhao Yun. This little B****tch. She did not have time to argue with her today. She would definitely ask her mother to teach her a lesson later. All right, stop fighting. Papa who had been smoking his pipe, raised his voice and shouted, if you want to fight, take your time. My ox cart is leaving, so I won't wait for you. If you want to go into the city by car, then stop. After old man who said this, the woman who was fighting immediately stopped her movements. Although they were angry, they did not forget that the most important thing today was to go to the city. They could not be delayed by other things. Forget it, I'll just take it that I was bitten by a dog. Get in the car. I'm still hoping to sell something today. Let's not argue with this crazy woman. Let's go. Daddy who, let's go. The women got into the car one after another. Fighting with Chunhua, these people didn't get any benefits. They were more or less scratched, but the one who suffered the most was Chunhua. Zhao Xinhui hurried forward and asked, Mother, how are you? Are you all right? Ouch, it hurts. It really hurts. Chunhua shouted. Mother, I'll help you into the car. Bear with it. It's all that damned girl Zhao Yun'er's fault. Let's see if you still won't help after being beaten up. Chunhua glared at Zhao Yun'er when she heard that. Zhao Yun'er pursed her lips and ignored Chunhua's glare of resentment. Sister-in-law Mulan, let's get in the car too. Mulan looked at Zhao Yun'er sympathetically and nodded. The two of them got into the carriage together. Chunhua's injuries weren't light, so she didn't fight with Zhao Yun'er. However, she kept scolding Zhao Yun'er. Damned girl, you have no conscience. How did my old Zhao family give birth to a girl like you? I'll deal with you when we get back.